Yes, hello. Welcome back to Drummoyne Oval. We're here for semi-final number 2 of the big triple header here, thanks to Sydney Sports Radio, Triple H 100.1 FM, Frogbox via the Cricket New South Wales YouTube channel. It is the Sydney Tigers taking on Manly Warringah for a place in the Kingsgrove T20 final coming up at 5:30. If you're just tuning in, Campbelltown Camden, they did it in a canter. They chased down St George Sutherland's 82 with only 1 wicket down and with 6.5 overs to spare. So we know Campbelltown Camden, they'll be in that final, but there's an injury cloud to Lauren Cheadle. We'll have more on that as the day progresses. But to get us through the kickoff show before we start in about 10 minutes' time, first up, Georgia Lomas-Freda. And Georgia, great to have you back as part of this coverage. The first game, a little bit of a canter, yes, but we should expect a closer game between these two sides.
Look, it's still going to be a fantastic weekend. As we know, more and more people have been rolling in. It is so nice to see. We are getting more and more views. We have found that our record for grand final viewing is 900 people watching. Let's break that record, because I'm not competitive in the slightest, as you can possibly tell. But it is still going to be a fantastic game and a fantastic day, with 33% of the day already down and completed. Yeah, and also Kiwi Mick Reinish back with us. He'll be in ball commentary, splitting with Nick Kutniak, who joins us for the call. He'll be in for the first 5 overs. But Kiwi, you called us through that first game. As I said, a bit of a canter there for Campbelltown Camden, but we're lucky with these. So you got the two teams for us. We'll come up with that shortly. But that Manly side, it is stacked with New South Wales Breakers players.
Yeah, absolutely. Two very strong teams, but Campbelltown Camden outstanding earlier on. Two strong lineups. Sydney Tigers have been there, done that in Manly. They turned up ready to go about an hour and a half, 2 hours before the match even started. So it's a great day here. The weather's holding beautifully, sort of late 20s, early 30s. So it's a great day at Drummoyne Oval.
Yeah, it certainly is. We don't have our pitch reporter, Shane Evans, MIA currently, but not too much change here at Drummoyne out in the middle. As I said, it was a little bit dicey early on, as St George Sutherland will tell you, but as I said, if you are watching through Frogbox, it does look like a great wicket. Better conditions probably for this middle game. It would have flattened out a little bit under this nice Sydney sunshine here at Drummoyne, as we are joined by Nick Kutniak.
Army back, army legs, army foot. That's what Shane's called. Because every time you speak to him, there's something wrong with him.
Well, it's just old age.
The L4 and the L5 today, apparently.
Yeah, exactly right.
How specific. But I would like to...
He's 45.
As we know, Shane is an umpire, but we have an umpire's cordon next to us that is sitting there, made up of about 4 umpires. What do you call a group of umpires?
A gaggle?
A council?
The Avengers.
A murder of umpires.
Well,
Seeing they kill us all with some
so
Flock.
Well, here's one for you. You're talking about I'm a licensed umpire, right? That Shane tends to say quite a bit.
I am, I just don't announce it.
Don't you remember about 20 years ago when SBS had the rights to the Ashes? The Sandman hosted the lunchtime show, the 9:30 time show on SBS. And the whole thing was, I'm a licensed cricket umpire. Then they found out his license expired like 2 years ago.
You're going to keep that one up to date, champ.
Shoulders,
exactly right.
It's like my RSL license. I try and get it on the 2023 membership and have to pay $10 each time.
Oh my gosh,
you only go to the pub once a year, don't you? So.
Well, I'm into a running club on Wednesday nights now, so you'd be surprised.
Yeah, now we get to hear all about that.
My lifestyle's changed.
Yeah, but
5-kilometre runs on Wednesday nights.
I don't know, your run from here to the canteen wasn't that fast.
George went to a run club, that would be interesting.
Yeah, cardio is cardio, I don't do that. The only running I do is on the PlayStation as I'm playing Madden.
Plus, let's be honest, Kiwi's already got a partner, so run club for him is not what run club is designed for anymore.
It's a new dating app, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. It's become a new dating app.
Joining.
Well, if you just tuned in, thank you for the dating tips.
Dating with Nicholas Kutnak. The reason why I don't know what I'm doing in my dating life. But look, being serious, very nice day out there. Obviously, the blue skies are out. There's a bit of cloud around. Pitch looks nice. No question about it. But I'll tell you one thing. I'm looking forward to how this game develops. You mentioned Manly's side, and they've got some great players on paper, but Sydney always find a way, don't they?
Yeah,
they are a
they've been
very
done
classy side. We've seen them earlier this year, and they are tough opposition. I think they're going to really give Manly the run for their money.
It's certainly going to be, I think, closer than the match we saw early doors. I said Manly, they've got all that New South Wales Breakers experience, but it's almost a tale of two sides for them because when all those players leave on NCL duty, they have to almost pick half a new team. So whether they have that continuity together, obviously today is going to be the test for that. But the Sydney Tigers, like a lot for their men's team as well. Maybe not so the last 2 years, but before that, they had a lot of great players that probably weren't up to that next standard, but it just meant they played week in and week out together, and they had a lot of success with that method, and it said it's brought across to their women's side as well. So, yeah, it's going to be very fascinating here this afternoon.
Well, there's always been that situation. We see it a lot with New South Wales Rugby League as well, at cup level, where there's players that are almost too good for grade cricket, but they're not good enough for Shield and definitely not Test standard, right? But that's why it's a good thing. But it's a good thing. Yeah, the Lord's bell has gone off, which is great to hear. But it's good now that we've got the Big Bash, because now we have got a tier for the grade players that are too good for grade but not good enough for Shield, because let's be honest, Big Bash has become just a home for somewhat better grade players because of the situation where we can't have half the international players because they're not available due to Test duty.
And Cricket New South Wales, I am still waiting for my contract.
I think we all are, but Kiwi, as they make their way out, please go through the team lineups for us.
All right, the Sydney Tigers side today, Gary Freeman, no, joking. Sydney Tigers side today, Emily Powell, Sammy Jo Johnson, bit too early for the league, Eva Ragg, Kira Churchland, the skipper, Samira DeMiglio, Giselle Plummer, Kate Barry, Lily Drummett, Alexandra Timms, Holly Toms and Nell Bryson-Smith. The Manly Waratahs, Georgia Adams the captain, Samantha Bates, Christy Crawford, Eliza Henry, Alana Horsfall the keeper, Ebony Hoskin, Lauren Kua, Anika Leroy, Ella McCorn, Chelsea McCleary, Darcy Whiteley, Elizabeth Cambridge and Lara Hughes. Over to you, Matt Mears and Nick Kutnak.
Thanks, Kiwi. Yes, it's going to be enthralling one here. Sydney did win the toss and decide to bat first here. I said what has turned into a beautiful day. If you are in the local area, I would suggest making your way down. Plenty of shade here. The spectators are filing in, getting ourselves a spot under the sun. We're luckily enough, our commentary position's now in the shade.
Have had enough sun for the weekend.
Yeah, definitely. We've had our fair share here this afternoon, but players and umpires are now in position. Looks like Ebony Hoskin, as she normally does, taking the first ball for Manly, and to take us through the first 5 overs, Nicholas Kutnak.
Yes, from I'm going to call it the river end, even though technically it's not a river, but
the bay end.
The bay end. Well, I'll call it the river end. Anyway, and
it's in the
opening up
name.
the batting is Emily Powell for the Sydney side. As we're about to see the first ball we've got in place a slip. And the player at third, a point, a cover, mid-off, mid-on, mid-wicket. We've got a deep square and fine leg in place. So that's the field setup. I know you're not used to hearing the full field setup here on Triple H from time to time, but anyway, going very old school, the old...
that's because we've got to crack out the the sheet of where each position is.
Exactly right. Well, you should know. You've played how many years of cricket?
Doesn't mean I know the positions.
I studied it as a kid in the back of the ABC cricket magazine.
Yeah, say no more.
The old ABC cricket magazine.
I know the field I like. My captain knows the field I like.
Deep.
Actually, no. In close, thank you. I can put it right on the dial.
Hoskin starts the game to Powell. Powell plays it to the onside. Fielder at mid-wicket comes across. She misses it. Now the fielder at mid-on gets to it. They're looking for 2. They're going to make the 2. Easy work. Powell wanted the 2 runs, and Johnson said, well, I have to run, so she did so, and it's none for 2 after the first ball.
Well said, Hoskin. We saw part of the Breakers squad, but we saw her for the Scorchers in the WBBL. Impressed. We also had her when we called down at Manly Oval. We had her up for an interview as well. Impressive young bowler coming through the system, but this will be a big test for her. They'll be looking for her to lead this attack today.
I heard you're the Lord and Saviour that day as Hoskin comes in. She pulls it to the onside here, Powell. She's looking for 2, but it'll just be 1 to field that deep square, got to it. The score moves to 3 for no loss. Powell on 3 and Johnson to face her first ball in the moment.
Yeah, we probably didn't have our A team there at Manly Oval that day, but...
Caruso was there, so of course it was the Z team.
Oh, wow.
I'm joking.
First zinger, and it's we're
I
only
think
2
we had
balls in.
multiples before.
Well,
we
the
went
first
to air.
this one for Caruso. Oh, before we went to air, yeah. I'm just saying on air.
Okay, yep, fair.
Geez, luckily we learned how to turn Frogbox off, so no one hears us between broadcasts.
Yeah, exactly right. Hoskin starts in to bowl to Johnson. Johnson just blocks it, no run. So they're on a run on the ball at the moment. None for 3 after 3 deliveries.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see here. Georgia probably bowled a lot to her in the nets out at Cricket Central, but Sammy Jo obviously known for her big striking, and yeah, someone a junior in part of that Breakers squad. Be probably a scalp you'd want to be able to take back to training during the week.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, if you go back to training and he's a senior that you've gotten out, are they going to be making you do a few more reps in the weights room?
Foul on the back foot, no run. So good ball by Hoskin again. She is delivering well to Johnson. Johnson, of course, more of a back foot player than Power. Power's been going more attackively so far. So we've got 2 deliveries left of the over. In what is a bit of a windy old day, it's starting to become, not too much, but you can hear it on ground level. It's a glorious day for cricket, though, as now Hoskin comes into Johnson. And Johnson again tries to cut this, more so of a dab. Fielder point will get to it, will be a single. Now, Powell wanted to go for 2, but Johnson said definitely not. And the score now moves to no wicket for 4. And Johnson is on 1, Powell on 3.
What some people don't realise is that Sammy Jo Johnson's actually making a bit of a name for herself outside of cricket as well. She's into racing and drag racing as well with her ute and the cars that she and her partner have.
So I'm hearing rumours that we're going to get her on the pit box at some stage.
I was just about to say the same thing.
As that's played to the offside by Power, no run. Good ball by Hoskin to end the over off. It's no wicket, 4-4 after 1 over. And Sydney, who won the toss and elected to bat. Manly, of course, it'll be interesting to see how they do go. Are they more of a chasing side, Manly?
Well, I think though with their batting lineup, when you look at the likes of, we saw Annika Leroyd with the Thunder, batters like Lauren Kua as well, they'll be really looking to put on a chase. And I think in a final as well, we've sort of gone away from the runs on the board type model. It's more the fact is we know what we're chasing, we know what pace we have to go at. And it's a real big mind shift from what we're used to seeing with the let's put run on the board, put pressure on early doors in that second innings and let that run rate build. I think because what we've seen in T20 now where 10 and over, if you only got to do that for, say, the last 5 overs, everyone thinks that's almost normal now. So it's going to be interesting to see what Manly do here, but they're going to have some pretty hard bowlers to get away, and this is certainly one of them.
So Bates to start.
One of the leading bowlers in the Big Bash for the Thunder. She'll have played here for the Thunder those couple of home games they did bring to Drummoyne as well, so she should know the conditions.
Bowling from the tree end of the venue.
The tree end.
It is. There's heaps of trees. Well, you can't see the houses with the trees. She comes in the bowl here. Bates played to the offside by Johnson. No run. Fielder at mid-off gets to it. So, but a fielder at third and third at circle, I should say, to be honest. A point in place, cover, extra cover, mid-off, and then a long on, which is interesting to note. Deep mid, as it's blocked for no run. And also a square and a fine leg on the circle. So no run there for Johnson off that Bates delivery.
I do, when we maybe at the end of the over, I do want to get some thoughts on the high shirt numbers out there for Manly.
So Johnson on the back foot again, trying to drill it past the fielder at cover, but no run. Score remains no wicket for 4. Sydney won the toss and elected to bat against Manly. As now Bates again around the wicket and blocked once more by Johnson.
What's that? We were talking about the 3 number 36s in the Campbelltown game. That made it fun. But when you got 144 and 145 out there for Manly.
Sounds like the old days of the Australian Touring Car Championship as Bates comes in on the back foot again. Johnson, no run. A very good over thus far. 2 from Bates. She'll be happy in saying that'll probably be a 6 next ball the way the commentator's curse goes. But thus far, no wicket for naught as she comes in around the wicket. Again on the back foot, Johnson, and no run, so the curse doesn't happen. It's no wicket for 4 after 2 overs, and a maiden over for Bates, and it's one of those rarities, Georgia, in the T20 game, but it's good to note, and she's quite a good bowler, isn't she?
She certainly is. Look, coming down from originally from Northern Districts as well and making the move. I think she was at another club beforehand, before Manly came into the competition. But
Didn't she play for Victoria before she moved up?
I don't
Or
know.
am I thinking of someone else? We'll find out.
There's a stat for that.
I don't know what Mizzy's on about. But look, yeah, she has always been a very precise bowler as well, on the mark, knows her game, knows how she wants to go about it as well.
So Hoskin to continue from the bay end. Powell on strike. 3 off 3. Strike rate at 100. As now she comes in, Hoskin, and she cuts and misses on this occasion, Powell. And it's caught a wide. Well, I wonder. I think she did reach. The ball went underneath the bat. I know it was wide-ish, but I thought the rule was if you're going after the ball, you can't call it wide then. I know it's old school, but that's what I would have thought.
Yeah, I'm not going to fight with all those umpires just sitting to the left of us, mate.
No, it's okay. It's okay. No, well,
can't
Georgia.
you can't
I'm the
say-
one who bagged them out, and Shane's saying big.
I know, I'm getting
He's
told off
afraid of
here.
you. He's
Here it
afraid of
doesn't
you.
work, as this time it goes to the onside by Power, no run. So, well, what's it been now? 8 deliveries and 8 dots, something like that. So,
I can tell you, Sam Bates, coming from Newcastle, played for the
There you
ACT Meteors
the
before
Meteors.
playing for Victoria, and then now
I was
back
talking
with
about
New
the
South Wales.
Premier clubs.
Well, I don't know. It doesn't have that on Wikipedia, but I said she played in Victoria.
Wow. Thanks, Caruso.
Okay. Well, if you go on Wikipedia as well, apparently you can make a volcano with baking soda, and come on, mate.
Does
Cool. Is that what we're doing after the?
Does
after
my
the,
cricket work? You can see if one of the 1,000 names that come up is Sam Bates.
True.
What the old days is. Hoskin comes in. Power swipes at it. It's been caught. Well, it's an easy catch too. Bates was in position, I believe, and the catch has been taken. It was comfortable there at mid-on. The first wicket for the Manly side, Sydney, 1 for 5. And, well, she wanted to hit out, and I can understand why, but she was always going to be caught.
Yeah, just didn't get the elevation, did she? It was off the toe end of the bat and tried to go down the ground. It's been a great bowling start from Manly. Obviously, 2 players with WBBL and WNCL experience putting that to play, but Georgia tried to play expansive down the ground, thought it was in the slot, maybe just came out off the inside edge,
Yeah,
and just spoons to that fielder there at mid-on, which we are trying to.
No, it's the right catch, so I got it right. It was Bates, but when I was pointing at the board, it said sub.
yeah.
Well, I think because Manly have picked more than 12 players on Play Cricket, it'll put her into a subcategory.
yeah.
Don't ignore the scoreboard. We've already worked it out.
Is that
Already-
because they're playing what, a bowler and batter sort of
Yeah,
pairing?
Yeah, because they can name a squad, not just 11s.
So confusing.
Too confusing.
The 12 person for the fielding setup won't necessarily be the same 12
Just-
for the batting.
yeah.
They can-
Just look at the screen.
there you go, look at the screen.
Now,
Look at the
no,
screen.
but I just saw the word sub. I'm thinking, oh, okay, that's odd. But anyway,
Yeah,
that's what it is.
we've learned to ignore the scoreboard here.
Well, it's
We've got one
working
on
for the
Play
most
Cricket.
part,
Yeah.
so I think it's okay. Anyway, Hoskin returns. She's 1 for 5 off 1.2. She's in the bowl to Rag. Rag is able to cut it. It goes through the cover region. There's at least 2 there. They're going to look for 3, but I don't think they'll run on the arm. And that's the case. So 2 runs to Rag. She's off the mark, and it is 1 wicket for 7. Sydney against Manly after 2.3.
Yeah, nice shot to get off the mark there. Said Manly having those 4 players inside the ring, but I said there is a decent gap between point and probably more of an extra cover short there than a traditional cover. So, yeah, just nicely work through the gap there, get off the mark, and then, yeah, look to up this run rate.
Hoskin comes in. Rag played a miss at that one. She sort of prodded at it, but no run. It's 1 for 7 with 2 balls left of the over. So fascinating here, Sydney losing that wicket early, but I think Mearsey, you look at it and going, okay, they may have lost the 1 wicket, but you do want to see Johnson at some point open up because 1 for 9's not a great look so far.
No, and I think she knows with her teammates that they're going to bowl some good balls early.
As this time it's played to the offside by Rag. There's a single. Throw will come in, but, well, at the end they didn't even decide the throw because it went past the fielder and then the cover did stop it. So it goes to 1 for 8, and it's Rag on 3 off 3 deliveries. Johnson is 1 off 9, and there's 1 ball left of the over. But it's an interesting point here, isn't it, Easy, about the low runway rates at the moment? I
think she just wants to probably blast as far into this innings as she can and doesn't want to give away a wicket in this first 4 overs of the power play.
So again, it is Hoskin who comes in, played to the onside by Johnson. Bates will get to it, so it's no run. End of the over. It is 1 for 8 Sydney against Manly and Georgia. With the way things are going, Manly will be happy with the start. 1 for 8, that's good. And we've been talking about the Sydney fight here to see what they do after 20 overs. But what's your assessment in regards to being the batting side? Do you try to save all your wickets, or do you try to get the runs early? Because it's a bit of a catch-22, isn't it? Because it's all well and good to save your wickets, but at the 15th over, and if you're at 53, it's not a lot of runs, is it?
It's certainly not. I mean, like, that's the thing as a batter and as, you know, captains and coaches, you kind of have to weigh up when you do certain things in play as well. 1 for 8 after 3 overs, as you said, isn't the best look. We did see some early wickets fall in the game beforehand as well. Could possibly be a similarity that we're seeing, but we've also seen Manly play Sydney Tigers last weekend here in a T20, and well, you know what, they won, as far as I'm aware. And you know, maybe that's playing a little bit in the back of the mind as well, because you do kind of look at those little things of, oh, they've beaten us before, they're going to do it again.
It's interesting, the psychological advantage or disadvantage at times, and we see it so many times where in the final week of the regular season you play each other again a week later or a couple of days later.
Yep.
As McLeary comes from the tree end, as I'm calling it. Rag plays it through the offside. There was nearly was the call. She just got her ground, but I'll tell you what, the field at point, that is a good throw coming in, and I think it was it in McLaughlin that threw it in? But regardless, what a situation that was. We'll get that check, because these blue on blue. Hello.
I mean, we could have gone for a few shades lighter for the numbers, surely.
It's Crawford, in fact. So Crawford's that point, No, I couldn't work it out too. Blue on blue does not work. It's like South Sydney and their numbers in the rugby league, and that is difficult, isn't it?
It's actually very similar to Parramatta team as well, except theirs is the other way around. They have the light blue shirts and dark numbers.
You can actually read it. As now it's played to the offside again by Rag. It's no run. Fielder at extra cover will pick it up. So it's Rag on 3 off 5, Johnson 1 off 10, and it's 1 for 8 Sydney after 3.2. It is McLeary bowling. She's none for 2 off, as I said, obviously, none for none off 2 deliveries to be exact. I was looking at the 9.2, so it's good to see that I'm paying attention. I've been up since 4:30. As now we see McLeary come in, played to the onside by Rag. There's at least a single in that. Fielder at deep point, or deep mid wicket, I should say, will throw it in, and it is a single. So it's 1 for 9. Johnson is on 1. Rag is on 4 now, and we've got 3 deliveries left of this 4th over.
Yeah, so we were talking a little bit there about a slowish start here, but you feel though with Everett Johnson still at the wicket for Sydney that she can just go up the gears very quickly and start dispatching it to if the bowling's to her liking. I think the big out for Sydney though, Maitland Brown being over playing in the Super Smash, you'd usually see her in this Sydney Tigers lineup.
Johnson on the back foot's cut it, and she's been caught in position straight away. Crawford takes the catch, and it is now 2 for 9. Well, it was on the back foot, Johnson. McLeary's ball was a nice one, but she never looked comfortable, did she?
No, it's certainly not. It's not the usual skills and hitting that we're used to from Sammy Joe. We'd normally see her for New South Wales and the Thunder coming in down the order, but opening the batting here for Sydney Tigers, just there's been some tight bowling. Finally, I think she found something that she could really lay into and try and cut through the offside. But as I said, it was a great catch there at point, low down to the ground, and you could see the celebrations there from Manly. They enjoyed that one. And yeah, to have a team like the Sydney Tigers 2 for 9 here.
Says a lot, hey?
Yeah, they'll be very excited for that one, won't they, Georgia?
They certainly will. I mean, Christy could have taken that a little cleanly, but, you know, I'm more than happy to heckle being up here in the commentary box. But no, it was a fantastic catch as well. Getting down to it, had the knee down on the ground just in case it popped out of the hands too, but was able to take it on the second grab and get the very important wicket of Sammy Joe Johnson.
At the end of the over, George to come onto the field for sub-fielding duties as it's played to the offside. Churchland beats the fielder who just couldn't stop, but it will be a single. She's off the mark. She's on 1. Rag is on 4. And there is 1 ball left of the over at 2 for 10 for Sydney. Okay, so to give a gauge of what's happening here quickly, and JP, I know you'd love doing this, count. There's currently 3 birds on the field. So we've got a bird we've got a third note. It's 5. Just past the rope. That's past the rope.
1, 2, 3, 4,
gone to square.
Can you guys focus on the game that we have?
Rags played it to the offside. They're looking to throw it in. Rag ran. They said there was a run on, and this is panic station straight away for Sydney because there was no point running in that situation. Manly put the throw in. It was an easy throw at that, and Rag is gone for 4 run out. And as I said, it is panic station. You
guys are getting bin chickens.
No, well, see, Georgia, this is the thing, right? I know you're 2 down, but now you're 3 down in that situation. The run was never on.
No, that was a panic button, smashing it, trying to get an extra run off something. You do still need to play smart. It is only the 4th over or the 5th over that we're in. You need to play smart. You take the singles easily. I've always been told by various coaches if they get 2 run outs or 2, very easy bold catches in the first 5 overs, well, you've basically lost it for yourself.
Well, yeah, if you're watching on Frogbox, you would have seen that throw come in, just taking the base of the stump out. It was Lauren Kua, the skipper. I said, you'd love to be able to do that 10 out of 10 times, and particularly under pressure. And it was just said, the last thing that the Tigers needed. Yes, the scoreboard pressure is starting to build up, but that is not the time or the place to be taking a single like that.
Or panicking.
But that's what it is. But we've seen the Sydney Tigers in this Women's Premier Cricket competition. They've won a lot of trophies. They've been in these situations before, but it's just been something about this Manly side and here today is that they're pushing those panic buttons unnecessarily.
And just quickly, Kiwi, good news. They got 7 wickets in hand, not 6, so you will be calling next over definitely. We can guarantee that. So D'Amiglio, who will be on strike. Churchland's on 1, and we're about to see Bates come in. Hasn't this changed? 3 for 10. We were 1 for 8 a couple of moments ago, but
it's almost like a date.
Yeah, that's going wrong as Bates comes in. Played to the offside by D'Amiglio, but the fielder there, a cover, cuts it off. Good work by Kua, the captain.
Well, so you're saying this is ending up like we won't go there?
Your dating life or my dating life? Or
mine's non-existent. So
let's see. As Bates comes in, and well, look, D'Amiglio is lucky there's no slip there. She's able to punch it through that region. There's a single point will come across to it and throw it back into the keeper. Score now moves to 3 for 11. Churchland is on 1. D'Amiglio is on 1.
Well, this is what they need to do. The Tigers here now. They know they're going to have quality bowling. They're going to have Hoskin. They have Bates. There's still 3 or 4 bowlers that haven't come into the attack for Manly that are just as good. They need to start rotating the strike. They can't just keep eating up all these dot balls. I said Sam Bates has bowled 8 deliveries so far, has only gone for 1 run. I know how good she bowler is. She was up there in the leading wicket takers for the WBBL.
Sensing a butt.
But
I'm saying she's a great bowler, but the Sydney Tigers have to find a way of scoring runs off her. They can't finish their 20 overs at 60.
Well, she's going around the wicket now, Bates. Churchland drives it back past the fielder and it will be stopped at mid-off, but drove it past Bates in that situation. So 4.3 in, and Sydney are 3 for 11. Churchland on the back foot, cuts it, and the late cut fielder point comes across and stops it straight away. And it is now 3 for 11 still. Sydney lead now. I have to say this. Shane scaring the locals again. Actually, in fairness, she actually said hello to Shane. That's a first time for everything.
Actually, I used to teach that person as well, so let's be nice.
She's very nice then. She had to deal with you. On that note, Churchill plays it to the offside, no run. I've taken the bitter pills today, haven't I?
Oh, someone got
Just
out on the wrong side
and
of the
Shane
bed.
in the same vicinity just seems to set you off.
When you have to do two people's jobs in the morning, well, let's just say you can understand why I'm in a cracky mood. On that note, Bates comes in around wicket. I wonder if I can double invoice. Churchill's blocked it, no one. At the end of the over, it is 3 for 11 Sydney. Dimiglio's on 1, Churchland is on 1.
Yeah, thank you to Nick Kutniak. Kiwi will join us for the next 5 overs, but as other people jumping out that shouldn't be.
Yeah, hang on. I'm nearly there.
Looks like we got JP joining as well. Even
I'm in
though
New Zealand time. I'm slowly approaching the crease.
He was supposed to be replacing me in 2 overs, but everybody's gone rogue on the... good to see everyone's already gone rogue on the schedule, even though we're only 5 overs into the game. I did. Thank you, Nick. I did tell the schedule.
So 3 for 11 here after 5 overs. Plenty of wickets and not many runs. And is this going to be another game where the team fielding first is controlling the match?
Also, Georgia Adams now coming into the attack. She's actually not skipper here today, but skipper's the breaker's side. And we saw her bowl some important overs for the Sydney Thunder in the WBBL. So she had that knack of picking up a wicket just when they needed it most. So, yeah, I wouldn't be taking, thinking that the pressure's come off yet. The Sydney Tigers side. They're going to have to work hard to get some runs out here.
Yeah, Dimiglio is 1 off 2, Churchland 1 off 5, and it's Georgia Adams with some right arm spin, sliced away to point for no run. Nice hot conditions as we approach 2 o'clock. Sydney time, and a good crowd building through the day. This is the Sydney Tigers home ground. Up on the hill there's probably a couple of hundred people in the shade under the tree. Floated up, driven straight to mid-off for no run. So very...
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how Dimiglio and Churchland play this here now.
Tossed up again, but straight to the field. I hope you're enjoying the coverage on Triple H on our triple header on a holiday Monday, and of course Frogbox. Plenty of people tuned in there, watching and listening into the call. In fact, we've got almost 50 people now, so that number's building. No doubt for the big final later, it'll be even more. This one played late. Chance of a run out. Oh, direct hit would have been gone.
Yeah, just slow to get the ball away. Wasn't she the fielder at fine leg? And it also was wide of Adams there behind the stumps at the bowler's end. Just those split seconds matter.
Yeah.
But as I said, the Tigers will be happy that they're able to make the ground, because the last thing they needed was losing that 4th wicket.
So here goes Churchland, right-handed batter. Adams popped nicely into this little gap in the onside for a single. 3 for 13 here in the 6th over. Very low scoring innings.
Just got to pick up the scoring rate here at the moment, Kiwi.
Yeah.
Run rate just
there hasn't
over
been
2.
a boundary yet, has there? Is that right?
Nope.
So, yeah. So, Dimiglio, 2 off 6. Tries to go down the wicket, but just can't quite get to it. And after 6 overs, the Sydney Tigers 3 for 13. Remembering the winner of this takes on Campbelltown Camden. 5:30 start for that one, which is like a twilight match. The game will finish under lights, you'd think.
Well, the lights will be on for the whole time. As I said, it's a great we'll give the thanks to Sean Mansell and the team at Cricket New South Wales. Obviously, we've had the pleasure of calling this one before. Generally out somewhere like Cricket New South Wales, obviously we love the oval, but no lights there, unfortunately, as yet. I believe that is planned for the future. But yeah, to have a facility like this up their sleeve, we can play the games. We don't have to back them like we normally do to play them all in the daylight. And then to have And then to have a final in that twilight and then finish under lights is a bit fitting of what this day's really become. I think it is becoming one of those days. I know for us especially, it's a big circle on the calendar. And as I said, you see the people now starting to come into Drummoyne Oval here. They're starting to build a nice little crowd. And as I said, it's also showing with the people tuning in via Frogbox and Triple H as well.
Ebony Hoskin now right arm fast. Driven beautifully, but the fielder well positioned. So she's 2.1 overs, 1 for 8. Manly with quite a star-studded side, looking to make that final a bit later on. They got here nice and early for this match. Some of the Sydney Tigers players were here really early as well, so a lot of people just get down here for a lot of the day. So here goes Hoskin again. Right up in the block hole. Did well there to chip it away for 1.
Well said. For watching Hoskin play for the Scorchers in the WBBL, what they did over there a lot, she had to bowl a lot of the hard overs. As I said, she was a late signing, not picking up a contract with one of the 2 Sydney sides. But as I said, they were a little bit on the lacking a little bit in that pace bowling department, and I think she had a great tournament with that. And it's good to see her skills come back here for Manly as well. But bowling her a lot up front, which I think is showing you the position of the game. They want that 4th and 5th wicket. They only want to be chasing maybe 50, Manly, to make sure of it. They don't want these two to build a partnership and then have to be under pressure chasing down the score in the second innings.
So D'Amiglio on strike on 2 off 7. Nice shot here off the pads. That's better, just ticking along a few singles here to try and build up a bit of momentum. They've kind of been in rebuild mode quite early here. It's 3 for 15.
Just the strike rate for both these batsmen just above 37. You expect that these two batters,
yes,
thank you.
Please.
Batters, yeah.
Thank you very much. Can stay probably another 8 to 10 overs. You probably think they're going to get over at least 120?
Yeah, they just need to build a partnership. This is beautifully clipped off the pad, so just starting to look a bit more freer with the batting here, ticking over that scoreboard.
Yeah, just hoping that ball just losing a bit of its shine. Making it easier to come off the pitch. But as I said, you look at the bowling for Manly so far, it's just been on that right spot. We saw a lot particularly in that Campbelltown-Camden run chase. There's a lot of step hit balls. It's just on that right length. They could just put the 1 foot down, swing through the line. I don't think I've seen any delivery so far from Manly that you could classify in that realm.
And this one, another single to the fielder on the fence. It's officially, the Super Bowl will be the Philadelphia Eagles, and the Kansas City Chiefs have just beaten the Buffalo Bills.
Well, Tay-Tay will be there then.
Another very close finish there. There we go. Yep. It's going to be all about the Taylor Swift and the Kelsey build-up again in the next 2 weeks.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they have a week off, don't they?
Yeah, it's in 2 weeks' time, yeah. So here goes Hoskin. She's 2.5 overs, 1 for 12. Oh, here we go by Churchland. And it's 1 bounce for 4. Rolling right towards our commentary area. Beautiful view there on Frogbox. And it's definitely the shot of the innings. Just breaking those shackles.
So is that the first?
Yeah, but that was the one that that was that delivery I was saying before, those step hit deliveries. That was the one that was right up there. Able to swing their arms, come down the wicket into it, and beautiful shot over mid-on.
7 overs gone. The Sydney Tigers 3 for 21. Winning the toss and batting first.
I'm just guessing that was their first boundary of the innings, I think.
Yep, first boundary of the innings. Just the last couple of overs, just starting to pick it up a bit. If they can get to anything over 100, they're in the game. D'Amelio 4 off 9, Churchland 8 off 10. Hope you're enjoying the coverage here on Triple H, 100.1 FM and Frogbox through the morning, afternoon and night. Bowled, beautiful delivery. It stayed a bit low, and that's the end of D'Amelio. This one hitting the midway part of the off stump, and McCleary, nice delivery there with the medium pace as the right armour, and that's her second wicket. And all of a sudden now it's 4 for 21.
D'Amelio just missed absolutely. It was just a swipe and just missed the ball altogether there. Trying to sort of like semi-sweep it and just missed absolutely everything. 4 for 21 here, George. It ain't a pretty sight here.
What I can say, having come through second grade with Samira and watching her, she does get caught in the mindset of, do I go forward or do I play back, which is exactly what we saw. Her weight was evenly distributed over both feet as well, which didn't allow her to get back in time, which ultimately did cause a wicket.
Yeah,
and has been the way that unfortunately she has gotten out quite a few times. But when she is in form, when she is seeing the ball, she's easily making half centuries here, there and everywhere.
So McCleary is 2 for 2 off 1.1.
Choo-choo.
And Giselle Plummer is the new batter at the wicket, right-handed batter. Sydney Tigers here. Manly Waratahs have got them under real pressure. Both teams winning the toss and batting have struggled. Interesting. Normally, if you win the toss, you've got a bit of an advantage, but
I think we know what the grand final teams will be choosing.
yeah. And this one is left outside the off stump for no run.
I asked the both of you, is there a lot of, does it feel like there's a lot of carry on this pitch at the moment?
It does vary with Drummoyne Oval. There will be that one blade of grass that goes so fast and straight to the boundary, and then there'll be others where the ball just pulls up. Carry-wise, yeah, it really depends, but generally a lot of the wicket keepers will be standing maybe 1 or 2 paces closer to the stumps.
Yeah.
Unless, at least Perry or someone ridiculously fast, Sammy Joe Johnson, is bowling.
And this one just pushed into the offside for no run, so Plummer is off the mark. Churchland, 8 off 10. The captain, a lot relying on her now with the bat.
Ooh.
This one just goes on the back foot and pushes into the onside. McCleary bowling nice, bit of pace. Good tight bowling, getting these wickets. Of course, the Sydney Tigers wearing their predominantly black strip with yellow. Manly the dark blue with the light blue numbers. Tries to flick this off the pad, so I'll pick up one. See what the umpire says. It is a leg bye. 4 for 23.
Tell you what, it feels like the heat's picking up as well now.
Yeah. What is that temperature?
It is currently 32 degrees.
32 degrees.
And it feels like it's 33.
Yeah, it's hot. We're in the shade. Players out there in the middle.
Humidity's gotten better. It's about 55% now.
Could go for some ice cream.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Pretty much the hottest point of the day.
Oh, in the words of Ravi, it's hot.
That was a nice defensive shot, but you're not going to get any runs there. 8 overs gone. Sydney Tigers at 4 for 23.
It's a very tight position here. Sydney could be all out for 50 before the 12th or 13th over the way they're batting at the moment. It's very tentative, but the bowling from Manly has just been superb at the moment.
It's been fantastic, and
Yeah.
I mean, the bowlers know obviously quite a high level of cricket been played in and amongst these teams. They know their games, they know how each other plays. And I mean, if they're not playing in Premier Cricket first grade, then they're playing in state cricket together, or Big Bash, or any form of cricket. So you can see what club training can do for a club as well. It really brings people together and helps with knowing how people play and what they do. Ooh, gorgeous.
This is a beautiful shot. Cut off on the fence. And they will pick up a couple. Samantha Bates bowling. And Churchland moves on to 10 of 13. 4 for 25. Left arm spin. Played late behind point. No run, straight to the fielder. Of course, the final of the women's T20 competition on at 5:30. A bit later on, the winner of this to take on Campbelltown Camden. Oh, what a beauty. This one bounced a bit more through to the keeper.
Oh, a lot of bounce on that one.
Yeah, it just needs to bounce that, 20 or 30 centimetres more, and it just gets the batter, especially with the spin. Beautiful shot here through the covers. The fielder out on the fence. On the hill side of Drummoyne Oval, they'll pick up one, as it's absolutely fired into the bowler.
You can see the wind's picked up as well with the marquees that have been put up, just ebbing and flowing in the breeze.
Yeah, the players will be very happy those marquees are up to sit in the shade.
Oh, definitely.
I'll tell you what, there's not...
It's all the difference.
There's not one fan that's sitting in the sun. If you can avoid it, then...
No.
You're not doing it. It's over 30 degrees in Sydney town. Holiday Monday. Oh, played it late. Keeper drops it. No edge, no run. As we reach towards the end of the ninth over. Bates, 2.5 overs, no wicket for 4. Talk about economical. Defended back to the bowler, no run. 9 overs gone. Sydney Tigers winning the toss and batting a 4 for 26.
Just superb bowling again. 26. The run rate just barely touching 3. It's... I know they've got a power surge, Manly, in the next over, but like... If you're in situation of... Sorry, Sydney with the power surge, but if you're thinking of Manly, would you bowl your best bowlers out in this situation, or you just hold off a bit if you get two more wickets?
I think it would depend as well.
Do you go for the kill now?
Yes,
you're right.
yes, yeah.
Because they could really roll them.
Yeah, I was just thinking, you can get them below 50 if you can.
Like, they could, but then you also run the risk of putting on your best bowlers, pace bowlers, but then you bowl them out so you don't have them at the end when ultimately the tail's wagging. You need to get them.
Oh, good delivery here, right on that length by Georgia Adams with the right arm spin. Churchland just pushes back to the bowler. She's 11 off 17. Needs to try and guide this side through. And, well, she's bowled. Played on. So that could be... They're in real trouble here, the Sydney Tigers. Yeah, played onto the stumps.
Chopped on.
Chopped onto the stumps, and all of a sudden it's 5 for 26.
Oh, I'm wondering if the teams rocking up early, or in this case, Sydney, rocking up early, seeing what happened with Campbelltown and St George, if that's maybe a self-inflicted psychological effect here. Yeah. The seeing it either via Frog Box or via here at the ground, seeing that impact that it had maybe, and also the fact that, last week they lost. Are they all just, maybe there's a bit of negative self-talk going around?
Yeah.
Subconsciously.
So much of cricket's a mental game, isn't it?
It is. It's
because
80%.
With cricket, it's different to other sports where it's kind of dragged out and there's a lot of time to think during the match.
Yeah.
Where league or soccer and things like that, it's just 80 minutes, go. Yeah.
Was it interesting that both you saw them, Sydney won the toss and they elected to bat?
Yeah.
Because we saw...
Same with St George Sutherland.
We saw the bowling, I'm going... It doesn't feel like a batting wicket.
Doesn't. It really doesn't as well. You can see the foot marks. If anything, I reckon spin's going to come into effect possibly even in the grand final. As well, we may have a bit of moisture at that time as well. I doubt it if the temperature is currently 33 degrees. But in that case, I'm wondering if, it's they've kind of brought this on themselves. Well, we lost last week, like we can't do it again, and then just throwing everything at it, trying to get these runs. But then almost sometimes you need to take the minimalist approach, the single. Don't
Just keep rotating the strike.
rotate the strike, because that's going to be far more frustrating than running to the boundary to try and get the 4 and the 6 if you hit them.
It's just a bizarre teams that won the toss, and we've seen them both bat, and it's just...
Well, I can guarantee one thing: the teams that are going to the grand final, they're going to be fighting for who's going to bowl first. If this is how both of these have gone, they're going to be fighting for
And
it.
I could be wrong here. Have the spinners have taken most of these wickets?
Bit of a mixture.
A bit of a mixture.
Yeah, mixture.
I think first game definitely we saw some pace, but mainly the slower spinners as well. Because remember, we saw a lot of stumpings and runouts. Runouts were kind of brought on yourself, but definitely the stumpings as well. That's what spin does. It gets you caught.
So it will be Kate Barry, the new batter at the wicket.
Barry.
Kate Barry. Yep, 5 for 26 after 9.2 overs. A little bit of a breeze coming across the ground, thank God.
Really nice.
Much needed.
Soak it up as much as possible, guys.
Yeah, it's a hot one.
Oh.
It's a very hot day. It was forecast to be like this.
Tomorrow's even hotter, apparently.
Yeah.
So they say, do you, Lord?
Back to work tomorrow, though. Don't know about you.
No, not
No,
for
I'm
me.
staying. Oh, I just want to stay home tomorrow.
I'm not back
So-
till Friday.
Okay. Barry, right-handed batter. Leans into this one and just nudges it down the pitch to mid-on for no run. And a key wicket of Church on the captain gone. She right up on the block hole, can't do much with that. As you were saying, Georgia Adams, the Breakers captain, right? So
Absolutely, yeah, and international import as well. Predominantly an English player playing, I think, for one of the Kia Super League teams over there. I can't remember which one, and I'm certainly not going to insult her by trying to guess them.
yeah.
But no, coming over, playing with Manly, and of course being the Breakers captain as well.
Goes for the big sweep shot. They'll definitely get one. Will they come back for a second? No, they won't. So after 10 overs, the Sydney Tigers are 5 for 27. And we'll hand it back over to Nick Kutnak for the next 5 overs.
So wicket made in there for Adams. 2 overs, 2 runs, 1 wicket. Very beautiful day here at Drummoyne Oval. Some clouds in the sky, but if you're expecting drips and drops, you're dreaming.
No. Stop that for a second. Now, Georgia, you really get the opportunity, and I don't know if it's a great opportunity to work with JP, but he's very loose, and anything comes out of his mouth and will come out of his mouth.
I mean, you really don't need a sound effects machine because you got JP.
Yeah. Wait for his joke of the day later on.
There's my friend, the bin chicken.
Yes. On that note, what are we doing? What's the name of the game? It will be Adams who will be, I think, Adams or Henry Bowen. We'll get that confirmed in a second. I know that. What's Shane doing in here? I said Shane Spard. Oh, wait, I've got to turn his mic off. So it'll be Henry who comes in the bowl. Adams bowled the previous. And Barry plays it to the offside for no run. So Henry, 0.1. So starting her shift, it's 5 for 27 Sydney, and it will be Henry that will continue from the broadcast end, and she comes in now, and it's blocked once again by Barry looking for the quick single, and yes, it will be a quick single for Barry. She moves her score to 1, and it is Plummer on 1, and it's 5 for 28.
Just Sydney's batting's just all over the shop at the moment, just like my brain cells.
At least you could say that. We'll get to you in a second, Shane, because I know you've got a couple of thoughts or two what's happening at the moment. as Henry comes in the bowl. And it's beautifully played to the onside by Plummer. It's going to just drop, and the fielder there at deep mid-wicket will stop it. It will be 2 runs, and they needed that. They really needed that, Sydney. They need to get their score going forward. 5 for 30. Plummer's on 3, Barry's on 1.
The one thing that really annoys me, like being out on the ground earlier today to have a look at it whilst I was preparing it for that first game, the outfield is a lot spongier than you would normally expect for one of these first-class grounds. But back to Henry.
Henry comes in the bowl, and she really gave a bit of a full throttle to that, then just dropped short, dipped on Plummer. She played it to the offside fielder at 3rd at the square, or 3rd at the circle, stopped it, 3rd at the square, there you go. Wrong sport, Nick. As now we see Henry come in the bowl again, going forward to this Plummer. She does play it behind square. Fielder at deep will get to it, deep square, throws it back in. Plummer moves her score to 4. Barry is on 1. Henry is 5 balls in and none for 4. So the team, Sydney, 5 for 31. 1 ball left on the over. And again, Henry comes in. And this time Barry's able to play it to the offside. Quick singles the core, they'll make it. And the fielder there at extra cover just really couldn't hold on to it cleanly enough. Plummer moves her score to 4. Barry's on 2. And at the end of the over, Sydney are 5 for 32 with 9 overs left in the inning.
So what I was trying to say before was normally you get to one of these first-class grounds, the grass is fairly short, the ball runs really, really well here. We've had no issue with rain over the last 48 to 72 hours, but you walk out there and unless you were hitting the ball 3/4 of the way to the boundary, there's not a lot of run in this ball, where normally we send a few of them and they have to be absolutely smoked to run all the way along the carpet, where apart from that it's been slowing up when you get to that last 5 or 10 feet, but apparently it's to preserve the ground, even though there's only a few more rounds left of games to be played here.
So we've got a Ben Chicken at extra cover. We've got 2 there at mid-off. As Crawford will come in the bowl to Barry. And Barry just glides to the onside. Fielder there will stop it. And it's short mid. And it will be a single. So Barry moves her score to 3. Plummer's on 4. And it is 5 for 33 Sydney.
Could be worse. You could have been that Seagull, one of the Big Bash games there where it got absolutely nailed.
Happens quite a bit in Melbourne.
It does, yeah.
And Melbourne known for a lot of Seagulls, especially at the Chip Stadium across the road. As Plummer comes in, Plummer's lobbed it high in the air over the fielder there at mid-on, and that is racing towards the fence. It bounced a few times, but off that Crawford delivery, Plummer gave it the heave-ho, and that is a lovely shot.
Definitely unleashed a wrench there, Nick, and just uncorked the screw out of the bat and tonks it over for 4. Magnificent.
Good shot, really clean shot, and we expect that, but they need to do that, Sydney. They are 5 for 37.
They've got to ramp it up.
They really do need to ramp it up. There's no question about it. They need to ramp up and get some runs ASAP. At 5 for 37, not a total that you want to be defending as Crawford comes in. And Plummer's lobbed it up. The fielder there at long on has dropped it. And that, I reckon, bounced to the fence. Let's see the call for the umpire. I reckon that's the call. And yes, she's checking to confirm. No, it's gone over the rope. Okay, very interesting. I thought it was touch and go there. Looks like she's glided it over the rope. And that's why it's called 6. Very intriguing. So it looks like she's trying to handle the ball. And then when it spilts out of her mitts, it has gone over the rope. I thought it would have bounced just before, but not the case. As quickly she comes in the bowl here, Crawford. Plummer sort of gets a touch on it. Will be a single here. They're looking for 2. Plummer says go, and now the throw comes in. Plummer's safe. She is safe. Moves her score to 15. Barry's on 3. And Sydney are 5 for 45. And as I said, Plummer's on 16.
2 balls left into this over. I sense a surge in the next 2 overs here. You've got Plummer just ready to unleash.
Crawford comes in the bowl from the tree ends. Glided down the onside by Plummer. A single. She will try to push for 2. She says, actually, no, you know what? Barry, you stay there at the non-strikers end for the new over because I'm getting the run. 17 off 12 is Plummer. Barry's on 3 off 8 rocks. And Crawford's got 1 ball left of this over. So unless Barry does get a single here for her troubles, it is 5 for 46.
Kate just has a free hit here. hits a 4 or a 6, that's just a bonus.
Yeah, exactly right. You're not wrong about that. As Crawford comes in, slower ball, punched to the onside by Barry, stopped by the fielder on the onside and no runs. So the end of the over, it is 5 for 46. Barry's on 3, Plummer's on 17, and Crawford 1 over, none for 14. And I think you'll find it'll be Henry coming back to bowl again. We'll get that confirmed when she does make her way to the bowling side, which we are, of course, at the bay end of the stadium at Drummoyne Oval, or as I like to say, Drummond Oval.
We'll lift your game for less.
We need to have a chat later. We need to have a chat. Because
Well, that'd be a perfect tagline for Sydney at the moment. They have to lift their game.
that's the first time you've ever said anything funny in your life. Adams, she'll be returning the bowl. 2 overs, 1 for 2 with 1 maiden. She comes in it's a shorter ball, and Plummer tried to give it the heave-ho at the end. She just glided it to the leg side of the fielder. That fine on the circle, stopped it. So it's going to be Plummer again, facing the Adams delivery. Adams in. And Plummer's hit it towards, well, basically mid on, and it's been dropped. Been dropped at the key moment. She came across to try to take the catch here, Hoskin, but she's dropped it at the key moment. 2 runs. Well, it's going to be actually a single for Plummer. They couldn't run the 2. So Barry will be on strike. Plummer's on 18 or 14 deliveries. What could have been, as Adams will quickly come in the bowl to Barry. Barry tries to get a touch on that. It's a swing and a miss. It was inches off the bat. I'll tell you what, that would have been a catch. There would have been something on there. There was no tickle in that situation. So no Elmo around. As Adams comes in the bowl to Barry. Barry glides it to the onside. Fielder there adds short mid, will stop it, but it will be a single. So Barry moves her score to 4. Plummer is on 18. Adams, 2 balls left of this over. She's 1 for 4. Sydney are 5 for 48.
Thank you, Richie Benno.
5 for 48. Okay, you're going to tell us in a second what that means.
Oh, the clock, Nick. The time on the clock.
Adam comes in. On the back foot is Plummer. There's 2 runs here. Fielder there at third will get to it. Throw does come in, but she'll be safe here, Plummer. So she moves her score to 20. Barry's on 4. 1 ball left as the 50 runs is up for the team of 53 minutes. Yeah, that's not a big achievement, is it? 12.5 overs to be exact. So 1 ball left, and Shane, it's not a good start.
It's not, but we'll explain more in a sec.
Okay, good to see that you pay attention. Adams comes in the bowl, and it's played on the back foot by Plummer for no run. We'll teach you one day. So it is a 5 for 50 with 7 overs left, which is consisting of how many balls, JP? 42.
42.
Yes. Hey, quickly, while you do that, I watch TV shows so people don't have to. I've watched Tim Allen's new show.
Oh, how is it?
3 episodes in. So this is his 3rd sitcom. And what's it called now?
I know what it is.
I can't remember what it's called, but I've been watching it. And as the power play is being called here, and let's just say it's okay, but it's the 3rd of his best shows. And he's done 3 sitcoms. It's just a reality. It's okay. Kate Dennings is all right in it.
Thank you, Mears. He's shifting gears.
Shifting gears. It's okay, but it's not better than Last Man Standing, and definitely will never beat Home Improvement. But it's okay. And Sean William Scott's in it.
Dude, where's my car?
And Stifler.
Oh, boy.
So Bates coming in the bowl, and Barry to the onside here. Fielder there at fine on the circle, or I should say square leg, is able to throw it back in. And it will be a single as Plummer made ground easily. So just to note as well, square leg being behind square to be exact. The fielder at square leg to make the call. I want to ask you a question, Shane, that I heard a couple of weeks ago on an ABC podcast, and I actually thought it was a stupid idea. But it's a question that is going to be asked soon as Bates comes in. And Plummer hits it to the fielder long on, and she's been caught. Well, she tried a few times, but on that occasion she was always going to be caught. Plummer's gone for 20, and it is now 6 for 51.
Yeah, but you can see the idea of what Plummer was trying to do. Obviously, we want to try and increase that run rate, but it's a bit of a double-edged sword here because you have to remember you got the wind blowing towards us here in the back of the Greg Davis stand here, where fair enough, if you hit them towards us, that would have easily gone over the boundary, but you're trying to push into the wind, and down where they are on ground level, there actually is a bit of resistance from that wind, even though you are below tree line. So, but you got to like the intent.
Yeah, Leroy takes the catch, so that's the situation now. Dummett will come in to bat. They're 6 for 51 now.
So what was this question on the ABC podcast that you talked
So what the situation was, Shane, is they were talking about the unnecessarily thing called square leg umpires, and basically said it's time to get rid of the square leg umpire. Now, I'm not a fan of this idea, and this is more so in international cricket where we do have video referral systems, because in the opinion of the person that did the podcast, and I think it's Corbin Middlemass on it, he basically said that,
enough said.
well, I like Corbin, but he said there's no point for a square leg because run-outs are made by video, same as what they don't call no balls. The video referral can do that. But I think it's needed. I still think it's needed. He says the square leg gets in the road of a fielder. But as Bates will come into bowl to Dummett, and Dummett plays and misses here, and the score is still 6 for 51 with 3 balls left of the over. But the problem with that is what happens when the technology fails, which we've seen on numerous occasions.
But also the fact is, the only time that they go upstairs for a run out on the square leg umpire is if the square leg umpire calls for it.
Well, as it's played to the offside, Dummett's able to get past one fielder, and that's quick running. See, extra cover couldn't stop it, and mid-off was just a shade off, and that's why Dummett ran for the quick single. She moves to 1, and Bates is on 5, or Barry's on 5 rather. Bates is bowling, 6 for 52. But the thing about that is, Shane, it's all well and good to say that, but every decision basically is video referred now. Like, they look at the run-outs. Don't say they don't, they look at it. As this time it's played to the offside by Barry, stopped by extra cover.
But then again, you also have to look to see how your camera setup is as well, because you may only have a camera set up on one side of the ground, depending on the level of cricket you got as well.
And that's
your
an
issue.
And that's an issue that needs to be brought up as it's played by Barry. It was one of those interesting deliveries by Bates at the end of the over. It's 6 for 52. There was no run offered, and we've got 6 overs left in this innings.
Because
it's an interesting situation. So the thing is, all well and good to say that, and this is the problem I have with venues these days. And I know they go, oh, but it's different broadcast companies do this. I wish it was the same broadcast company so we can basically keep the same plugins and the same areas of cameras, because they should be on both sides. Considering now
They should be, yeah.
every ball can be called for no ball or not at international level, right? By the video system.
Yeah.
That's where they call it. They should have cameras on both sides of the pitch. And I mean both the offside and the leg side,
I know
both
where
ends.
I know where you're coming from, and I totally agree. But some grounds, some levels where I know at Sheffield Shield level,
and we're not saying
you've only got one fixed camera on
But
one
we're not
end
saying
and
to
one on
bring
the
it-
other.
But we're not saying to bring it on Sheffield Shield, because I don't
No,
think
that's
it should.
But at international level, you should. But the thing is, you take the square leg out of the way. At any level, what's the point of getting rid of it? Or are they just talking about getting rid of it for international only?
Well, basically international, because that's the only one that we had before video referral systems. Dummett plays at the offside for no run. Hoskins back into the attack.
But also the other thing is, when you get a chance to watch any of the high level games, if you've got let's just use this game for example. If you've got a Manly fielder that likes to stand right on square leg on the circle, the umpire will stand either on the stump line or will stand slightly forward of the popping crease, which they can do.
As Hoskins comes in and Dummett plays a miss. Now, this is where I believe, and I'm agreeing with you here, the other reason why you need to have a square leg is so you can work out if they're going to be behind square or they're in front of square, so you can work out the leg side.
Yeah, the two behind square.
Correct.
Yeah.
So you can work out when you got 3 behind square situation.
And
so you
also
can work that out.
for this one, for the,
Well, yes.
for the waist high.
But this, and that's what I was saying about the no ball before, as we see Hoskin come into Dummett, and Dummett on the back foot just decides to block and go. And you know what? She just made her ground here, Barry, and I say by a 15th. It was that close. She just got there. Have you never heard that line before?
Oh, I have, and sorry, that's our technical director sitting there talking in our ears, asking the question.
See, no. See, Shane, you don't talk about. This is where we need to give you some counselling on how the broadcast, because you don't talk about what we're hearing. I said to you guys, have you never heard that line before? Okay, anyway. This is why, Matt, can you come back in the broadcast box, please? This is torture.
But getting back to the square leg as we've been talking about,
Yep.
A, you need to have them there to look at that waist high. There's the two behind leg, as you've mentioned as well. But the umpire has up to 6 feet either side of that bowling line as Hoskins back in again.
And Barry plays and misses, and already Dummett says, run, Forrest, run. There's a single, and it's 6 for 54. JP, what do you think about the conversation we've been having?
I'm actually in favour of having only one umpire and only in international cricket.
But if we have one umpire in international cricket, how do we split the duties? Because I don't think you should have the same umpire running from end to end to umpire effectively maybe 30 overs of cricket if you're going to have one umpire for each session, because I don't think it's going to work, but that's what they're talking about. And you can't have one umpire doing 90 overs in a day, as we see Dummett play it over the fielder at point. There's 2 runs here at least. Now, will they run on the arm? Well, they are running on the arm, but they're only going to make 2. So Dummett moves her score to 4. Barry's on 6. And we have 1 ball left of this over, 6 for 56.
Do we get 90 overs in a test match?
Yeah, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know.
Either way, I'll go back. You're in the Hawkesbury Association area where you live, correct?
No, I technically am I'm in the mixed Blacktown or Penrith. I could be either.
Okay, but
I'm in either camp.
Okay, but what is their first grade park comp play in a 2-day game? Is it 75 overs or 80? As we see a cover drive
and
here.
And that's a beautiful shot too. That goes for 4. And she's been pushing all day, Dummett. She has been pushing all day. We are seeing it. So at the end of the over, it is 6 for 60. Dummett's on 8. Barry's on 6. Hoskin, after 4 overs, she's 1 for 24. Shane Evans and JP for some assessments, and then Kiwi Mick.
Just a clever shot there. 60 for 6 with 5 overs left to go here. Oh, geez. If they still... I know I'm asking 10 runs. Oh, sorry. 40 here to make 100. Probably asking a lot, but if they can try and get near 80 to above 80 or 90, they should be there, Shane. But, geez, the pitch is doing something here. Yeah,
well, you saw how comfortable it was for the Ghosts this morning to chase down 82 in their game here. But if you're the Sydney team, you'd be wanting to be 90 plus.
Yeah, and they've got Sammy Joe Johnson to bowl as well. She's good.
You have to remember, when I was mentioning to Nick, but we'll get back here to McCleary, who's...
Yeah, McCleary with a good delivery, beaten outside the off stump. She's been outstanding today, McCleary. 2 overs, or 2.1 overs, and 2 wickets for 3 runs.
Where Kate Parry's tried to basically put everything onto it, and unfortunately has missed there. But the pitch is going to get harder and harder to bat on, even under lights tonight.
Good shot here by Barry through the covers to that fielder out on the fence. Will they take on the arm? Yes, they will. And it's good running. She's home. A couple of runs. They've just had a couple of little good overs in that 5-over period. 6 for 62. Barry and Dummett are the batters at the wicket. But McCleary with some great figures. Hoskin in the end, 4 overs, 1 for 24. Hope you're enjoying the coverage here on Triple H and Frogbox. We'll be with you through to the evening. Oh, this is a beautiful shot off the pads. Will this roll away for 4? Not quite. Just short of that rope by about 2 metres. They will pick up a couple. Good batting here by Kate Barry. She moves through to 10 off 18. Dummett is 8 off 7. Just flick that off the pads around the corner. Good crowd here. The Sydney Tigers home ground, of course, winning the toss and batting. A nice shot again off the pads. A little bit uppish, but well in control in the end. And they'll pick up another one. 6 for 65.
Yeah, well, the last comment that I'll make with that umpires and the square leg thing that Nick brought up before, the umpires, we are allowed to have up to a foot in front, about foot to, say, in the metric, about metre in front of the popping crease, all behind the stumps.
Oh, one of those
attempted ramps.
Fancy T20 shots that's gone wrong.
There's a
no run through to the keeper.
It's massively gone wrong.
It's the right idea. It looks like that's one thing Georgia would attempt. That'd be your attempt, wouldn't it? Trying to get it to flick it behind where there's absolutely no one down at a normal fine league position or third man, but
Lily Dummett on strike here, right-hand batter. McCleary 2 for 8, last ball of the third. Tries to smash this one, but very edgy. They'll pick up one, and they'll settle on that. 16 overs gone. Sydney Tigers 6 for 66, with the Kiwi accent strongly saying that number.
The Devils.
It couldn't be any worse, I have to say. 6 for 66. You got to say it 3 times.
It could be 2 for
Everyone
22.
listening at home or on Frogboats, I know you're laughing. Haha, the Kiwi, whatever. So, no joke.
Thanks, Kelly Canada.
Now, I was thinking along the lines of when they used to do the markets. 66, 66, 66. Geez, they've got it. Every horse has got an S in their name and all 66 to 1, Esther.
Yeah, the top man. Billy Birmingham, isn't it? So, it will be
Thank you for keeping it clean.
Henry to bowl again. Eliza Henry dances down the wicket, straight back to the bowler for no run. Bowling with the sunglasses on, the right arm spin. Great conditions here, 31 degrees. Just past 2:30 Sydney time. Down the wicket, beautiful shot over the covers. This one should have enough on it to go all the way. Yes, it does. Only just. It was a nice shot there by Lily Dummett, just dancing down the wicket. She moves through to 13 off 11. Barry on 11 off 19. Pretty much once you get to over 10 now in T20, you're kind of in the short format. At least you've got a little bit of a start.
The one thing that you've noticed here also in the field setup after this next ball.
Oh, and that was a stumping chance. It really should have been taken. And it was dropped.
When you're looking at the game this morning when Campbelltown were bowling, they basically made you play in front of the stumps here, where you've only got one just behind point and just a very short 45.
Again going down the wicket, flicking it off the pads. They'll pick up one. 6 for 71 here in the 17th over. Winner of this to take on Campbelltown Camden.
You'd almost be tempted if you see the ball where you get a chance to try and paddle it around the corner, because once you get past that short 45, that ball should get at least 2, maybe 3.
Goes for it. Misfield. They'll pick up one to that fielder on the 45-degree angle on the edge of the circle.
And still hits the middle and leg stump from where she was out there. But no, so like if you go past that fielder there at the short 45, there's another couple of runs there as well. And
yeah.
Instead of being forced to play, okay, you may have to shift onto your off stump and play it from there, but they need to get some more runs.
Can they get to 100? If they do, it's game on, I reckon. Plays it late, misses it through to the keeper, no run. And after 17 overs, Sydney Tigers 6 for 72.
Just 72 at the moment. Run rate just over 4. So
in fact, it's 6 for 73.
73, sorry. So
yeah, my apologies.
80, just over 80 from here, but 72. Dummett and Barry, been at the crease. 14 and 20 balls in there respectively here, Kiwi. They've got to go heave-ho and just got to get
So I'm guessing they've taken the power surge already, right?
Like okay. Yes.
I was getting a sausage sizzle when I missed it. So
the old Mr. Sheen.
Well, I said there are some good sausage sizzles if you did want to make your way down to Drummoyne.
If you want to come down to watch the final and have dinner at 5:30.
I'm telling you, I love that bacon and egg roll.
I'll be there. I'll be there between games. Don't worry.
So it's going to be goes for it off the bat onto pad, no run. Barry on strike, 12 off 21. Adams 3.1 overs, 1 for 6 with 1 maiden. The English import, of course, and captain of the Breakers with these right arm spinners. This one's a big one over that cow corner area, but the fielder runs around to cover it. Eventually, they'll only get one.
Yeah, great arm.
Yeah, very good arm.
That's what Manly have done well. They've had their fielders with they've had them in the right spots for the right. They've not had any of their softer arms out in those positions, and you can tell with the Tigers they've been looking for those twos, but I said just absolute rockets to get them back in. No chance. But as I said, with only sort of 2.5 overs left to go, still 4 wickets in the tank, and you still need to be looking for those big shots.
Goes for it again, but misses. No run.
Just picked up that delivery late. Tried to sweep. Just got nothing on it. Dummett 14 off 15 delivery, strike rate just over 93.
Nice drive down the ground along the carpet to that fielder at long off. Fires it into the keeper. Great conditions here, nice blue skies, and we 200 or 300 people up on the hillside of Drummoyne Oval, and a lot in the grandstand, and sort of hiding in the shade near the canteen. It's a hot one. Just a tiny little shout for LB, but they were
just playing across the line again, wasn't she, Kiwi? Just trying to hoik it into that leg side. They said there is some coverage there for Manly, but said Georgia Adams, another great spell of bowling.
This one driven to long on, and they'll pick up one. So that's a great spell by Georgia Adams of 4 overs, 1 maiden, 1 for 9, and after 18 overs, the Sydney Tigers 6 for 75.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, JP, to see what they do in these final 2 overs.
Will they try and aim for even 90 maybe, because 100's probably pushing it now, isn't it?
Got to tonk it. You've got to heat ho.
And as I said, they've bowled out some of their. As I said, when you look at who's already bowled their 4, Hoskin, Bates, Adams, you're going to have your not disparagingly, but your lesser light bowlers coming on. It is the time they have to sort of make hay while the sun shines. And said Manly have spread out the field, so there is some opportunities if they run hard.
Christy Crawford, the new bowler from the commentating stand end of the ground, the pavilion end, hoiks across the line, fires out to deep square leg. They'll pick up one.
That's more like it, though. Probably trying to get it a bit finer. There is a fine leg inside the circle, but the fielder back is sort of more in line with the umpire. So trying to hoik it round that corner, get it down towards the boundary. But so it has been great bowling by Manly so far. But what can Sydney Tigers do with these remaining 11 deliveries?
Lily Dummett 15 off 16. Barry 15 off 25. Here goes Dummett on strike. That's a full toss.
Halfway down the wicket to it.
Yeah. Probably maybe should have done more with that one. That was a very loose delivery. You got to probably try and be hit those for 4s at this time.
Well, your topper order batters, you'd be expecting them to sort of hit them over long on for 6. But to only get a single, they'll be a little bit disappointed without the Tigers.
Oh, this is a good one. Is it going to split the fielders? Good fielding on the boundary. And again, a pretty good arm as well. They'll only get one. So
yeah, that's Chelsea McCleary down there. We've seen her. She's bowled 3 good overs. You probably expected to bowl the last as well, but she's one of those Manly fielders with the big arm down on the boundaries, cutting off those 2s.
Dummett, good fielding again. If she missed that, it would have been 4. They'll get 1, so they're getting a run of ball. 6 for 79 here with 8 balls left in the innings.
And Georgia Adams, the skipper, leading by example inside the circle.
Crawford, 1.4 overs, no wicket for 18. That was there to be hit, but again, 1 bounce to the fielder. So all the fielders are placed perfectly, they just can't split them. They do get to 80 now at 6 for 80. 1 ball left in the 19th. Hot conditions here. Luckily we're in the shade at Drummoyne Oval. And dances down the wicket, and this time they won't get a run as well. 19 overs gone here. Sydney Tigers 6 for 80.
Last over is going to be crucial here. You probably want at least Measy, at least a 10 plus.
Yeah, I think they, as you were saying just before, 90. At least it's something that you can defend.
Yeah,
It is going to be hard with who Manly have at the top of their order, but
Sammy Jo Johnson to open the bowling though. You never know if you early wickets.
yeah, if she can get the ball hooping,
Yeah.
she is going to make it difficult. But again, it's one of those ones we saw in that first game when they only had to chase sort of 83. Campbelltown Canter did it fairly easy, knowing what they had to aim for. Whereas it's been hard for Sydney to know what the right target's going to be, and I think they've left probably 20 runs or so on the table, just losing those early wickets, playing some shots that weren't needed early on in their innings. But as I said, it's been a good fight back by these two. Drummond and Barry both on 17, and it will be McCleary, 3 overs, 2 for 9, 2 for 9, bowling the last.
Can't get hold of this one. Straight back to the bowler. The Manly side, a lot of clapping out there in the middle. Of course, remembering St George Sutherland getting 82 in the earlier semi-final, and that got run down with only about 13 and a half overs and 1 wicket down by Campbelltown Camden. Goes for this one to cow corner. 1 bounce to the fielder. 4 balls left. They're on 81. 6 wickets down.
Yeah, I will hand it to Warringah, very well captain. But obviously when you've got the experience of Georgia Adams, Annika Leroyd and Tal out there, they just know where to place the fielders. They've not been able to find any gaps to the Tigers and get those boundaries much needed.
Oh, that was nearly played on and bowled. McCleary 2 for 10 off 3.3. Public holiday Monday here in Australia. The day after Australia Day. Here goes McCleary again. Goes down the wicket. She's got hold of this one. And that's going to be 4. Blazing shot. That's the shot of the innings, I reckon. Hits that picket fence. Beautiful shot through the covers towards the canteen. And it's 6 for 85 with 2 balls left in the innings.
Yeah, can't die wondering now, can they, Kiwi Meat? They really need to make the most of these final 2 deliveries. Make Manly have to chase as many as possible.
Edges. Will this roll for 4? Yes, it will. Only just, but it gets there. A little bit of momentum to finish off the innings here by the Sydney Tigers. 6 for 89 with 1 ball left in the innings. And Dummett moves through to 25 off 22. Barry 18 off 29. These two have saved them to get at least something to bowl at. So last legal ball of the innings. Dances down the wicket. Umpire says it's okay. And it will be a target of 90 for Manly to make the final of the women's T20 comp. Over to you, Matt Mears.
Thank you very much, Kiwi Mick. The 20 overs down here now for the Sydney Tigers. We'll run through the tail of the tape. Sammy Jo Johnson opening up early doors. He's out caught by Crawford off the bowling of McLeary. 1 off 11 deliveries, uncharacteristic for the Breakers and Sydney Thunder batter. Emily Powell opened up as well. She was caught by Bates off the bowling of Emily Hoskin. 3 off 5 deliveries. Eva Ragg coming in at number 3. She was run out. That spectacular run out, direct hit from the Manly skipper, Lauren Kerr. She's out 4 off 7 deliveries. Kira Churchland came and went bowled by Georgia Adams. 11 off 18 with 1-4. Samara Demiglio, she was bowled by Chelsea McLeary. 4 off 10 deliveries. Giselle Plummer, she came in, she got that scoreboard moving before she was out caught by Annika Leroyd off the bowling of Bates. 20 off 17 with 1-4, 1-6, and then it was the partnership that got them to that total that hopefully will give them something to defend. Kate Barry finishes not out, 18 off 29, and Lily Drummond finishes 25 not out off 23 with those 4 boundaries that we saw late there, hopefully giving them some momentum into that bowling innings. There was 3 extras that made up that 6 for 89. The bowling for Manly, Emily Hoskin, 4 overs, no maidens, 1 for 24. Sam Bates was on fire again, having the experience playing here for the Thunder earlier in the season. 4 overs, 1 maiden, 1 for 6. McLeary, 4 overs, 2 for 18. Georgia Adams as well, 4 overs, 1 maiden, 1 for 9. You talk about maidens taking deliveries away, we've seen 2. So it's almost as if they faced 18 overs instead of 20. So great bowling there from both the Thunder pair. Georgia Adams also taking the field for the Thunder throughout the season. Eliza Harry, 2 overs, none for 11 as they slam the gate on our effects mic. Eliza Henry, 2 overs, none for 11. Christy Crawford, 2 overs for 19. Still got Kiwi Mick. We've got JP here in the box as we look forward to the Manly innings. And JP, what do you feel? Is it going to be like we saw in that first game? Manly come out hard, try and take down the target quickly, or knowing that they can pace themselves. They're not aiming for anything like run rates or anything like that. They can take their time a little bit more.
They should pace themselves. It's 90, target 90 from 120 deliveries. In their mind, they probably want to pace it, but I do think they would like to probably just accelerate just to get this game done and wait for the break. But like, I would just look for the singles and look for the 2s. No need to rush.
Interesting situation here because 89 runs, so 90 runs in 20 overs, very much should be easy to get, right? Should be easy to get. What's the plan and strategy if you're the Manly team on what you want to get runs and where? It's almost like when you get a pit stop, when you're not, or where do you want to be at the pit stop? Where do you think, JP, where do you think they're going to be Manly after 10 overs, or where should they be?
I reckon 60.
You really want to go hard early and go at about 60. You want to be at 60 after 10 overs.
Well, I think as well it's going to be what bowlers are going to do. Obviously, when you got the likes of Sammy Jo opening up early, she'll get some swing with that new ball. So, as I said, it didn't quite work for her being defensive early doors. Do Manly just feel, well, we'll go hard in that power play early doors when the field's up? Maybe it could be a different tactic. As I said, it was the tactic that worked for Campbelltown Camden early. It was they sort of made their hay early on and were well ahead of the rate throughout their entire innings, whereas St George Sutherland, they had the same start that the Tigers did, weren't able to put the runs on the board. So as I said, I think it's still going to be a fascinating chase no matter what happens.
Because 45 is probably where you want to be. I reckon 45 is probably, okay, after 10 overs, 45, that's pretty much at level. You're thinking, okay, that's all right, because you don't need to give away too many wickets, but you almost don't want to start slow like we did see with Sydney, because that's how Manly capitalised. They knew Sydney was on the back foot, and if Sydney can get a couple more wickets early, that will change the context of this game, and I've got the feeling they can. I actually think that Sydney can play the game that Manly played a couple of hours before or an hour ago. Like, I reckon that's how it could start. And especially if Sydney do that, Manly should know the story and try not to play the game that Sydney want them to play, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. I think either early runs or early wickets will dictate the rest of the innings. So, I said, make sure you don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a jiffy here at Drummoyne. Manly requiring 90 runs to make that final at 5:30 against Campbelltown Camden. You are listening Sydney Sports Radio, Triple H 100.1 FM and Frogbox via the Cricket New South Wales YouTube channel of this T20 finals day at Drummoyne. Manly, they need 90 to win here. In semi-final number 2, we'll catch you in about 5 minutes. Yes, welcome back here to Drummoyne Oval. The innings break here of semi-final number 2. Manly needing 90 runs to earn their place in the grand final. 5:30 against the Campbelltown Camden Ghosts. 20 grand on the line. We saw the big check a bit earlier on today. Unfortunately, it's not for commentary teams. It is for the players out on the field. But as I said, it's going to be a cracking final. Twilight game under lights here at Drummoyne. I said plenty of people here packing the hill, as well as the shaded areas in the grandstand on the western side as well, for what's been a great T20 finals day here so far. If you missed our earlier coverage, Campbelltown Camden beating St George Sutherland to make that final. St George Sutherland all out for 82. Campbelltown Camden chased it down, only losing 1 wicket in 13 and a half overs. So they'll be nice and refreshed for that final. As I said, coming up at 5:30 here. We'll be continuing our coverage here, Sydney Sports Radio, via Triple H 100.1 FM and Frogbox and the Cricket New South Wales YouTube channel. So make sure you keep everything tuned to that, particularly tonight, as we are very much looking forward to that final. As we introduce the team here, Nick Kutniak, JP, still in the box with us as we wait for umpires, fielders and batters to come out. I said it's great conditions for cricket, but as I said, there's been something about this pitch. We've seen now St George Sutherland and Sydney struggle to post 100 batting first.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? And I've got to say, Mearsy, the way T20 cricket has ended up, it's almost the old adage of you bat every single time you win the toss, but on the 10th time you think about it and still bat. Well, it's reverse in T20 cricket. You should be thinking every time the bowl first. Bowl on every occasion. And I actually do agree with that in all due respect. You want to know what you're chasing, and I think that's the way T20 cricket has become. One-day cricket never ended up like that, as we hear the bell, which means Mr. Whippy is just around the corner. I mean, players are about to come back out onto the field.
Recess! Don't tease us with Mr. Whippy.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind what I'm right about now. Good ice cream on a nice afternoon. It's actually not overly hot, so it's actually funny to note. It's not hot. I think it's in the low 30s, but it doesn't feel like it's a heat wave today, so that's the positive.
Well, we're in the back of the Greg Davis stand with the wind in the shade.
But even
we're not fielding in the middle.
No, but even walking outside, it doesn't feel oppressive. And I think normally it does feel oppressive when you do that, but yeah, it's not that bad today. And it's a beautiful ground also. It does help that we're by the bay. And they always say when you're by the bay, it's 5 degrees cooler. JP, you know that from your weather experience?
Yes, walking the bay run.
How many times have you done the bay run in your life?
Walking wise?
See, you've never run.
No, I don't run.
You're a mailman.
Well, yeah, that's why your mail turns up at 8 o'clock at night.
Ask JP about the stories about when dogs have been chasing him in the past.
Oh, that'd be funny.
And put it this way, he ends up doing the Newman. You're a Newman in the post.
Hello, Jerry.
Guys, try running 5 kilometres on a Wednesday night. Join the running club.
Oh, yes, you're a run club member now.
I'm a new running club member. 2 Wednesdays in a row. 5Ks the first Wednesday, 6Ks the next Wednesday, non-stop.
Yep.
I've defied the odds.
Hello. We've got something on our... Okay, so this... You know those sign
Marry me, Kutnak.
Well, it actually is trying to write.
Turn it up.
Marry, so it's M-A-R-R. I think they're trying to do a Y. This is going to be very intriguing. So we are currently seeing a proposal happening as we speak. I never thought I'd call this live, but yes, unless it says Mary J. But look, and I don't know why it'd be a double R, but I think it's about to say marry me. I want to know who the me is. On that note, we're about to see Manly bat. We'll keep you up to date with that. JP around the grounds in a second for it. McLaughlin and Leroy, the Leroy, I should say, are going to be the two. Well, I'm going to say Leroy.
Well, it's Leroy, but okay.
No, have you heard Leroy? It doesn't matter either way. Johnson's about to come in. McLaughlin's on the striker's end.
I've had bad feedback about mispronouncing names in our women's cricket coverage. Just trying to look out for you. But if you want to go down that path, please send all hate mail directly to Nick Kutniak.
And JP as well. So Leroy is on the non-strikers end. McLaughlin is on the strikers end, about to face Johnson. And it's only going to say question mark here, Mary question mark. So now Johnson comes in the bowl, and it's a play and miss by McLaughlin. So the start of the card, it's none from one. So
we're already seeing some movement there. Yes, the effects box also set up near a bin.
You planned that very well, didn't you?
Well, no one's been using it all day.
You want me to move the bins later?
No, it's fine.
Johnson comes into McLaughlin. McLaughlin plays it down the leg side, play and miss, and did not touch the bat, so a wide is called.
Yeah, Sammy Joe Johnson just wanting to try and find some swing, wanting to get that new ball talking, because as I said, we already see the slip in. They'll be looking for the outside edge of McLaughlin's bat, but also they got the three fielders there, backward point, and cover point, all waiting for a catch as well.
McLaughlin awaits for Johnson. McLaughlin plays it back for no runs, so it is none from one after two legal balls, and we also have that wide, so that's why they've got a run. As it's a love heart at the moment, JP, that they're trying to do. So Mary Loveheart.
Marry is nearly gone.
Yeah, but marry me. But who? Like who is it? I want to know the names. I want to know not the address. We don't need to know the address. McLaughlin awaits for Johnson. McLaughlin just late cuts it. Field it third at the rope, or throw it back in, but it will be a single. Score now moves to none for two. McLaughlin is on one, and
it's
Johnson,
definitely marry me.
Yeah.
Oh, maths.
Oh, it's not maths. It's not an app for maths. Okay, well, we're no longer... Mate, all I can say is I was having flashbacks to my youth during the Australian Open when James Sherry was doing the interviews on courts. James Sherry obviously hosted amazing back in the day.
Well, he does the cricket. He does the cricket announcing as well, yeah.
Yeah, we will hear Great Southern Land 4,000 times.
Leroy
faces and plays it to the onside from the Johnson delivery. Will be a single quick run, and they made it mid-on, gets to it, so score now moves to none for three. There's two balls left of the over. McLaughlin on one and Leroy on one.
And they're still persisting here in the sky here, Mearsy.
Oh, there's some more coming.
Even though the me is nearly gone out of the sky.
It's coming a Y.
What a terrible day to do on a windy day on a public holiday. It's just a Barry.
Marry me with a Y, Yvonne. It said if it's a long name.
I think that could be an E. I don't know.
Should we move the camera up? No, we won't move the Frogbox camera.
As I said, my inspiration of being a cricket commentator is Henry Blofeld. He always talks about this stuff. As now we see Johnson come into McLaughlin. She plays it down the leg side. There was a pill for LBW. I don't know if it touched bat or pad. It's touch pad, so it will be a leg by. Don't worry, Shane, I've got eyes. I could see that they'll about to make the call. There was the soft signal, okay? Not soft sell, great band back in the day. As the score now is none for four. We've got two extras, a leg by and also a wide. McLaughlin on one and Leroy on one. And Leroy is on strike to face the Johnson delivery. One ball left of this over. As Johnson comes in, and that's way down the leg side. Well, they'll call that a wide. And I'll tell you what, JP, I reckon that's one of your balls back in the day on Cricket 07.
Ah, yes, great delivery that. EA Sports, marvellous delivery that.
No, it was...
Oh, yes.
Super Nintendo cricket. That was the thing back in the day. I'm showing my age.
With 8-bit music. Oh, can I tell you a story at the end of the over about 8-bit music?
Here we go.
As now we see Johnson make her way into Leroy. Leroy plays it down the onside. They're going for the quick single. They'll get the quick single too. Throw comes into the bowler's end, but it was to the chagrin because it was always going to be an easy run. So Leroy is on two. McLaughlin is on one. At the end of the over, it's none for six. We've had three extras thus far in this first over, so that's why we get to none for six. Manly, they are chasing 90 for victory, and 189 for the tie.
YH. I'm just looking at the third letter here at the moment here.
I've got to say something, right? What's Keith's partner's name? Because maybe he's doing this during our broadcast.
I think he's safely back in Adelaide for all our safety.
All right.
But
Drinking Coopers?
But yeah, now Bryson Smith coming on for the second over.
Good bowler too.
Very good bowler. We've called her on more than one occasion here on Sydney Sports Radio, Triple H Frogbox.
You're very intrigued with this, JP. I've given up.
YHY.
Bryson Smith, left arm around the wicket. It's cut by Leroy. There's a single there. They're looking for two. And the fielder there at deep cover throws it in. I think she just made a ground here.
Ooh.
She just made a ground, Leroy. Got there by a hair's breadth.
Photo finish, Nick?
Well, and I've caught a few photo finishes in my time, and guess what? One by a nose.
Well, I said it had to make the big dive from far out, didn't Leroy? It was a risky two. Taking on the arm, it was a good throw from cover on the boundary, but obviously backed herself in. Probably not the things you need to be doing in the second over when you're only chasing 90.
So about to see Bryson Smith coming again to Leroy. 4 off 3 rocks thus far. Taking her time. We're just waiting on. Okay,
we're waiting on the stumps.
Yeah, that's why we're waiting on the umpire to finish the stumps. I just had a look and go, oh, there's an umpire there. Well, we've got umpires on both ends. Oh, yeah, that's why.
Got to fix the stumps, Nick.
Yeah. Remember, near enough is good enough in park cricket. It's like, oh, yeah, whatever. As now Leroy awaits for the Bryson Smith delivery. It's blocked, no run. So 8-bit music. I've gone on YouTube and I start going, okay, AC/DC Thunderstruck in 8-bit. I know I'm weird, but JP is all because I heard fanfare for the common man in 8-bit. As Bryson Smith goes around the wicket, and this is hoiked by Leroy. It's going over the fence. That is 6 runs. Technically the rope, it hit the fence on the bounce, but yes, it is 6. And that is a great 6 for Leroy. You get so used to saying the fence because it's usually the line, but obviously we go over the rope. It's still a lovely shot through cow corner.
Yeah, just a couple of steps down the wicket, get to the pitch of the ball, and I said we see Leroy's her pedigree, obviously with the Sydney Thunder as well, playing for that Governor-General's game against England too, so highly regarded by the national selectors.
Bryson Smith comes in. It was a full toss. Leroy played it to the offside. It's a single as the fielder mid-off throws it. It's gone past a couple of fielders, but it will be stopped by the fielder behind at fine. So it will be none for 15, I believe, as we wait for the score to tick over. And Leroy is on 11 and McLaughlin on 1. So McLaughlin will be on the striker's end as that score, but I don't think it's ticked over officially, JP, but it will in a second, as now it's a ball that's left and a wide is called. So it should move to none for 16. And it's good to see the scoreboard is not in use, JP. 2 deliveries. Is that refreshed in your monitor? We'll have a look in a second. Yes, now it's updated. So here's the shot by McLaughlin. She's hit it through mid-off. It goes to the long-off fence, and that is 4 runs. Bounced once to the rope, and it was a lovely shot too by McLaughlin off Bryson Smith.
Right off the screws. Mearsy just pitched it right there at the batter's sweet spot there, Mearsy, and decided to tonk it away there before.
Yeah, again, nicely down the pitch to meet the ball, and I said within the power play, still pockets there that are nice and easy to hit over the infield.
Played to the onside by McLaughlin, no run. At the end of the over, it's none for 20. So let's take stock. It is McLaughlin on 5, Leroy on 11, Manley none for 20. Johnson has bowled 1 over. She's none for 5. And Bryson Smith 1 over, none for 14. She finished her first over, so it will be Johnson, we believe, that will be bowling from the tree end of Drummond Oval, or Drummoyne Oval. I call it Drummond Oval, but Drummoyne.
Well, I said we've had our first viewer feedback.
Yep.
Supposedly that ball over here is not cow corner, it's deep, it's mid-on.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Look, you're probably right. But you know what?
Well, who it's coming through from, yeah, but it is probably mid-on more than cow
yeah,
corner.
it's probably you're probably right. But guess what? There's no lines to mark what we are, so I'm going to make it up on the spot, okay? Actually,
Well, the person that did Mr. Gin had their opportunity on commentary, and
of course.
well, you don't know them, but as I said, they had maybe a bit of a freeze moment, but as I said, always open for new commentators.
Yeah.
Appreciate their feedback.
Yeah, you're probably right, but you know what? We make it up on the run. That's what we normally do anyway. Allen comes in the bowl, so Allen replaces Johnson. It was straight back at her, but she's stopped it, and that's about it because it bounced off her hand. So we're worried on the strikers end. What's the comment? Come
Nothing.
on, read
No,
it,
that
read
was
it.
no. It was
Read it.
more between the freeze. It was the freeze, not your expert commentary, Nick.
Okay.
I'll show you later. Wasn't another comment directed at you.
All I
Oh.
could say is JP.
I'm a flog.
Oh, I haven't got that one coming through.
We've known that since way back when, as Allen comes in the bowl down the leg side, and that will be a leg side wide chord.
Yeah, they've just strayed a little bit. We saw Sammy Jo in her first over as well, pushing a few down that leg side. I said that is the way the breeze is coming across. If you are watching on Frogbox, coming from left to right on your pitcher, so it's great for those outswing bowlers. But just whether they're struggling to find a good line, a bit too far outside off, it's going wide, or if it's going down leg, they're not finding any swing at all. So, as I said, if they don't want Manly to do this in a canter, they're going to have to find that line and length very quickly.
Allen in, and that's a good ball. That is a very good ball, as Marnus Love has shown appeals for everything. That's what it felt like, as everybody's appealing. It's like, what are you appealing for? No run for Leroy. So that's interesting. I love our players over appeal and just go, yeah. It's like, okay, what are you appealing for?
Oh, well, it's the same. If you're park cricket, though, umpiring yourselves, it's not fun. But if you've got the two, well, you normally call them black and whites, but we'll call them blue and whites with the blue shirts. If you got
Blue
the
and
two,
black, technically.
well, blue and blacks, yes, but we don't really want to say that too much. But as I said, if you've got the, if they're out there doing their job, you're going to make them earn their money, surely.
As now we see Allen come in the bowl, and Leroy plays it back at a no run. So none for 21 Manly, chasing 90 for victory, 89 for the tie. Just in case.
I don't think we're going for super over.
Hey,
What stranger things have happened.
hey, if they're slow on the runway and they need 2 to win and 1 for a tie, and it's 9 down.
Oh, jeez, this
And
game's
there's a
going to
run
have
out.
to take a turn for us to get in that position.
Manly's going to end up losing a wicket here. Allen comes in the bowl. It's played by Leroy to the offside for no run. Commentators curse in reverse. Bit of fun. We're just nicely sliding into 2025.
Or some of us have gone downhill since 24.
JP, when you're on the bottom of the run, you can't go down. You can only go up.
The only
Well, that
way
was
is
Connor.
up.
Yes, thank you very much.
We're on the rungs up, or maybe Shane.
Leroy faces the next delivery. She pulls that, and it will be a single, and that's about it. The Allen ball was short, and the score does move to none for 22. Leroy on 12, and McLaughlin on 5.
Yeah, just trying to mix it up there, Alan. Try to make Leroy have to think about something different rather than being up in that defensive length. But said they have the field set out with the fielder out there behind the umpire back on the boundary. Still in the power play here. You got square leg and third man, the two back out on the boundary rope.
As now McLaughlin blocks, no run at the end of the over. It is McLaughlin on 5, Leroy on 12, Manly none for 22.
Just 2 runs off that over.
Well, I said, I think we saw Manly have got off to that good start. If they need to push the runs a bit later, they will. But they can't have asked for much more here. We saw those early wickets fall for the Sydney Tigers, and I said it was the same in that earlier game, St George. Those early wickets falling in those opening overs just put them on the back foot. But if you can sort of survive these first 4 overs of the power play, none down, like we saw with Campbelltown Camden, they were able to push the accelerator in those sort of middle overs when they didn't have that wicket pressure.
So Rag to start her spell from the Bay End, and also a bit of housekeeping tomorrow night on Triple H, and it's back, of course, via podcast platform as well as Rag comes in. It's blocked by Leroy. It's back for yet another year. Splinters is back for 2025. It's the first of a two-part preview series on the NPL men's. So that you'll be able to hear on Triple H at 9 p.m. I think it's
8 p.m.
8 p.m. now, that's right. It's 9 p.m. in Hawkesbury. So it's at 8 p.m. Splinters, as now that's played to the onside and stopped by the fielder mid-on, so no run for Leroy, and it's Rag bowling. So you'll be able to hear that first of a two-part series, Caruso and myself previewing the NPL men's, and the pit box is back for 2025. We're hoping to start this week. Well, we're starting this week.
We are. We have to, yes.
As Rag comes in the bowl and Leroy plays at the offside. The reason why I say, we're definitely starting this week is because I know that at least I'll have one person to do it with. Because I don't know about Taste, I don't know about Ollie from time to time. But
everyone loves us two rambling about motorsport for 2 hours.
And there's a lot to chat about. 6 p.m. Friday nights on Triple H in Hawkesbury, Thursday mornings at 7 a.m. Breakfast morning radio.
How's that for a drive show? Us two.
Breakfast morning, yeah.
No breakfast show, just put the pit box on.
Well, technically, and people go, well, breakfast, of course, in the morning. Well, no, some people have breakfast in the evening.
If I want to eat my cornflakes at 8 p.m, I'll eat my cornflakes at 8 p.m.
Have you ever done that before?
I have.
Rag comes in and Leroy plays it back, and they appeal for nothing. Hey! They appeal for nothing. But JP, you eat Kellogg's cornflakes for dinner because you're watching the Kabaddi League.
Yes.
That's your night's entertainment.
Or live golf.
Yeah, that's okay. The 19th hole, as Leroy blocks this delivery from Rag. As we keep on hearing all this noise, it's great. It's a maiden over. That's why we're hearing it, because of that. I'd never heard anybody get that excited for a maiden. On that note, have you? Have you ever heard anybody get that excited? Okay, well, yeah, anyway, maybe it's because I bowled all the maidens my time and that's why everybody forgot. So McLaughlin on 5, Leroy on 12. Powell is about to bowl. Rag after 1 over is none for none. So that's the situation.
All the nuns.
Oh, no. JP, be careful. You're on the radio, okay? So you can't say some of the stuff you sometimes occasionally say.
We can replace you.
Yeah, but Shane or JP. And we'll have Georgia back in a moment. I know she wants to be back.
Kiwi as well.
Georgia just will randomly put a headset on, won't she?
Almost as random as Shane Evans, but not quite.
What about the day that she said she was allegedly parked in?
Yeah, allegedly. We still haven't seen photographic proof of that.
Allegedly. Allegedly parked in. She said she's not taking photos. Powell now will make her way into McLaughlin. McLaughlin plays it to the onside. There's a single there. It goes behind square. They're looking for 2. There will be 2 here. McLaughlin will make it ground easily. I don't know why I even got that excited, but when this game has had nothing because Manly look like they're just going to get through comfortably into the final. McLaughlin to 7, Leroy on 12. It's about excitement on the radio.
They glided in like 12 volunteer.
Oh, I like that actually. I'll give you credit for that. Torval and Dean, though, that's 20 years ago since they last did stuff in Australia. Remember Dancing with Torval and Dean?
With Michael Slater.
Can't say that name anymore. McLaughlin plays at the offside for no run. Power bowling.
And getting through our overs very quickly.
Yes, like the Indian bowlers, the spinners anyway, during the summers. That is a lovely shot. Again by McLaughlin. It's racing towards the long off fence, and it stops right at the rope. Stops right at the rope, and that is 4 runs. None for 28. McLaughlin on 11, and Leroy on 12.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see here now. The Tigers obviously wanting to keep the field up, keep building pressure. They know they need to take 10 wickets. But is there a point where they're going to have to start sending a few fielders back? Because as I said, we've only got the 2, and as we speak, they're sending the 3rd back to long on. We've got the 2 out at backward square behind the umpire and at mid-wicket in front of the scoreboard. 3rd now is back at long on.
And again, it's a sweet pull. And it's nice by McLaughlin, and it's going to go behind square. There's 2 runs. The throw will come in, and it's easy. It's an easy 2 for McLaughlin. She moves her score to 13 off 11, and Leroy is 12 off 17. There was a mix between a sweep and a pull. She went down on the knee,
But
played
yeah,
that.
There's a big chase for Bryson Smith having to come around from square leg. No one at fine.
As McLaughlin just dabs and runs, she wants to be back on the striker's end next over, as there is 1 ball left of this over. Leroy is on 12 and McLaughlin on 14. So Leroy is on strike. Kiwi Mick is ready to chime in. Ding, ding, ding. He loves just sliding in from the side like Chris Collinsworth as it's blocked by Leroy. You knew where I was going with that, JP. At the end of the over, it's none for 31 Manly, chasing 90 for victory.
Yeah, interesting now to see what happens here with the bowling from Sydney Tigers. We saw that they were trying to keep the field up. Them having to concede with that beautiful 4 over the top. And now they'll be having to maybe not hit the panic button, but they're going to have to try and find a wicket here somewhere. But it's one of those lineups where they've got 2 set batters, but they've still got a long batting lineup to come here. You feel that they'll just keep going no matter what. As I said, as we've got Kiwi Mick and Georgia now back in the commentary with us, Kiwi Mick, it's been...
Sanity is restored.
Yeah, Eva Ragg bowling a very economical over. And her first, that maiden, but no wicket for 31, 5 overs gone. They're well placed, a good start. McCoggan on strike. This is a bouncer, and they give them the warning for the one for the over, don't they?
Yeah, keeping them guessing.
That was a pretty sharp bouncer, wasn't it? All of a sudden, out of nowhere.
Well, I said they've got the fine and the square leg back on the boundary there, so they're obviously having to trying to find a plan here, trying to pick up that first wicket. I said it was a good short delivery.
Oh, what a shot this is. That's all the way for half a dozen. Half a dozen of the best here on Triple H on a triple header. What a shot that is. I won't say the number. 5 plus 1, half a dozen.
Good maths, mate. Good
no
job.
wicket for 37, so she replies to that bouncer with a great shot. McCoggan now 20 off 14. She's gone again. 1 bounce for 4, and it rolls into the Sydney Tigers tent with the players there, ironically, doing the fielding. So the Manly Waratahs here, they have lit the fuse here in the second 5 over section. Ragg bowling a maiden that first over, but McCoggan now really firing up.
Well, I said there's a fielder there fielding right, sort of a forward square leg right in front of the Sydney Tigers players, but hasn't had to move far, but can't stop these big blows.
Oh, what a shot! That is a beautiful cut there. Square of the wicket backward a point. What a shot.
Yeah,
nearly a catch as well, but it's probably
Nice little stretch for the
a
fielder.
30 centimetre ruler above her hand going back to primary school.
Made a good effort. Knows she's on frog box. They made the effort there to
I
do
think that's
the big
Samira
dive.
Demiglio.
Try to do
out
the
there.
Edwards catch, eh? Yeah.
That was a good catch.
Spectacular.
So they have just pushed the go button here. This one just tickles it round the corner for 1. No wicket for 46 in the 6th over. McCoggan moves to 29 off 17. Leroy 12 off 18. Rags 1.5 overs, no wicket for 15. All the 15 have come in these 5 deliveries. As runs in again. Good shot down the ground. And they will pick up 1. A direct hit at the non-striker's end. 6 overs gone, no wicket for 47. The target 90.
Yeah, it was a good effort there from Bryson Smith at mid-on, but as I said, they've been running together very well between the wickets, these two for Manly. I said, you feel, as I said, there was a couple in that Sydney Tigers innings where they just looked like they were never going to make it, but
yeah,
as I said, they seem to have all their ducks in a row here, the Manly side.
Very similar comparisons to that first game with the team batting seconds, just looked in control. It's funny. Maybe we might be shaping up for one hell of a final if those two play, but there's still time here for the Sydney Tigers. They need wickets. Churchland, the captain, comes on. They need sort of 2 or 3 quick wickets, so not just one, to try and change this and slow it down.
Yeah, they need to change the momentum almost 180 degrees.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right. More than 1 wicket.
Oh yeah.
They probably need a 3 wicket over or something like that, really, to put a nervous shiver through that Manly middle and lower order. But they said it's almost too easy for them at the moment as they do change the field around. We see a fine leg going in. We haven't seen one of those from the Tigers. They've sort of left that empty, but now they are shoring that up.
Dancing down the wicket, no run. Churchland, the captain, comes on with right arm spin.
Yeah, so we've got 4 fielders inside the circle on the offside, backward point, cover point, and a mid on.
And this is a wide down the leg side.
Then you got your 5 on the leg side. Inside the circle, you've got mid wicket and fine leg, and then out on the boundary, you've got deep mid wicket, square leg, and a long on.
Driving down the wicket to the bowler. No run again as we reach 3:30 local time. Final of this competition starts at 5:30. Campbelltown Camden versus one of these sides. Didn't quite time this one. They'll get a single down to the fielder at long on the hillside of Drummoyne Oval under the huge light tower. The fielder all the way down in the distance on the opposite end of our commentary area in the pavilion here. Great facilities to call from, nice and comfortable, plenty of room. Oh, deft little late cut. This is going to be close to rolling away for 4. It might just pull up short, but they will run through for a couple. Hot conditions out in the middle. That brings up the 50 for Manly, and they haven't lost a wicket in the 7th over with the target of 90.
Yeah, it's been a good start here. Just taking the risk out of the game now.
Goes for the sweep. It's a wide and a run. So that'll be 2 runs and an extra delivery. Hope you're enjoying the coverage on Triple H and Frogbox. We'll be right with you for this game and the next game, the big final of the Women's T20 comp. Driven down the ground again for 1. They haven't even really looked like getting a wicket as well. You know, it hasn't really been any drop catches or shouts for LB. So
well, even the run-outs, they've run well together, the 2 Manly batters. So
yeah,
as I said, the Sydney Tigers said we've seen them a lot in these situations before, and it's just not been their day.
And this one just noodled into the onside for 1 again.
From the Tigers that I'm used to seeing, this is a very different approach.
Yeah,
to
normally
the
they're
game.
right in the game, eh? Yeah.
To the game. They are on from the get-go.
Yeah.
They have their plan. They know what they're going to do. They're aggressive. I think they've stumped themselves as well. I think they're quite unsure as to what to do.
Well, I said it's basically a full strength side. The only player that really would be out would be Maitland Brown, who's obviously on Super Smash duty for Wellington. But other than that, this is the team that we would be expecting from a Sydney Tigers. So it's not like we can say this person's missing, that person's missing for the situation that they're finding themselves in. It's almost if Manly, but it's as we saw in that first game as well. Team coming out, batting first, making a low total. It's been the same here. So it's going to be interesting to see what these two teams said if it continues as it is. We see Manly and Campbelltown in the final.
Well, I guess in the final, the only difference is
no one's going to want to bat first.
No, only one team can bat first, so it's going to be.
So it's going to be a fight on.
Yeah.
It's going to be a fight on just because no one's going to want to bat first.
Everyone's going to want to.
There was a toss that was important, just mentally as well.
True.
And
you want to win that one.
Coming into bowl now. And this one just pushed into the offside for no run.
Alam.
Alam.
She is actually one of their international players as well. Has come over, I think, Bangladesh.
Yes, we called her at
just checking.
at Asquith when we called
There you go, yeah.
NDs versus Sydney earlier.
Quite a nice action.
That's true.
Quite a nice fast action with the orange fluoro boots.
We played has played for Bangladesh, played 2
Oh,
World
yeah.
Cups as well, I believe, if I remember my notes from the day.
Oh, McCoggan has nailed this one to deep square leg. But she's hit it so well that it'll only actually be 1 run in the end to the fielder on the fence. Near the... where a lot of the fans have been all day under that beautiful tree next to the nice little grandstand in the canteen, a great little setup, a section of the ground to watch a game. Here goes Alarm again, 0 for 56.
Oh, the ramp
Goes for the
coming
big
out.
ramp shot. And they're actually going to come back for a couple. They are cruising this target run chase at the moment. 58 without loss in the 8th over. So McCoggan is 33 off 21. She's striking at 157, which is fast in any T20 comp, men's or women's.
Any comp.
Yeah. Leroy 17 off 24 on strike. Stayed a bit low this one, but digs it out to Sammy Jo Johnson.
It sort of has that slow slinging action and not going to get a lot of bounce, but maybe almost come onto the banner a bit quicker than they're expecting. So yeah, it was nicely kept out there by Leroy.
Here goes Alarm again. That's a beautiful
Well done,
delivery, but well played. In the block hole, but still driven down the ground for 1.
Yeah, it's almost like they know what bowlers they want to target Manly, and then you see the Bangladeshi international and they go, okay, we'll roll it back to this over.
This is what we're going to do.
Then when the bowlers they want to target come on, they'll hit the accelerator again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they've got so much time at the moment, which they've created for themselves. Defends us into the offside for no run. 8 overs gone. Manly no wicket for 59 with a target of 90.
What I will throw to you is I always find something in particular. If when you were a player, official, what was your biggest pet peeve? I have so many, it's not funny. What is your biggest pet peeve? I know I asked Izzy earlier and he said fielding.
The wind when I used to play in Wellington back where I lived was awful when you're playing cricket.
Yeah?
Terrible.
Shane, what about you, mate? Biggest pet peeve?
You and I were speaking about it off air just before.
Oh, is that your
innings.
beer? Okay. All right.
That's one of mine. So
Well, you might want to announce it because...
no. So Georgia and I were sitting there having a discussion off air. If you have a state player or someone that has played at a higher level in the competition that you're playing at, you walk out in said competition, or for this case, a New South Wales Breakers helmet. Do you or do you not cover the badge in order to show respect for the competition that you're playing in?
Yeah, true. So what, they don't normally cover it, or
Some do, some
Most
don't.
of them will.
you should? I think.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
you should too.
I'll give you a perfect example of what didn't happen after this ball from Sammy, as we can see.
Bin chicken.
No, the pigeon actually.
Sammy Jo
Or the
Johnson
seagull.
back in the attack. They need a wicket badly.
Either way, bird.
Yeah, the seagull out at short cover. But yeah, a couple of years ago, and I know Mearsey would have seen this, Manly grade playing a one-dayer. Mickey Council's playing, one of the tallest players going around, walks out with his Sydney Sixers pink helmet on.
Yeah. Here goes Sammy Jo Johnson to Leroy. Slower ball. They'll get 1. They run through hard, but they'll settle for that. Brings it to no wicket for 60.
Going to need a lot of tape to cover that helmet up.
Yeah, but the thing
That
is,
pink is such a big.
It's vibrant.
light pink.
It's vibrant.
the whole helmet was pink. It wasn't just the Sixers logo. But no, there's lots of players that I've seen, even coming through New South Wales pathways, like your 16s and 19s, that will wear that particular helmet and just say like, yeah, I'm a state player.
Yeah.
And most players go like, yeah, really?
So-
And you watch them come out, and 90% of the time they'll
Yeah, it's
come
all
out
good if
and
it was like 6 years
and
ago
they-
and they're still wearing it.
and they think that they're good, and they've been.
Yeah.
I'll explain more after this ball.
McCoggan 33 off 22. Again, pretty much a slower ball flicked off the pads. And again, they'll just go for the 1. No wicket for 61, target of 90.
Doing a game myself earlier in the year up at Mark Taylor Oval, home of the Northern District's Lady Rangers and men's. Second grade, one of the girls come out with their Pathways helmet on, thinking, yeah, I'm all that, yada, yada, yada. This 14-year-old that's come up from Brewers
Love that.
knocked her neck and crop first ball.
Yeah.
And
so
she got
good.
gave an absolute
Love
spray.
an underdog story.
Oh, what a shot by Leroy. That is a beautiful shot. All the way along the carpet, through the covers, into the picket fence here at Drummoyne Oval on a holiday Monday. That is a great shot.
If she's hitting balls like that as cover drive, I would hate to try be playing golf against her because that swing would have been so sweet. And you can imagine that having a little golf ball.
That was just timing, wasn't
Yeah.
it?
That was
Great
gorgeous.
timing.
That would be just. I hate to see what she does with a golf ball. I reckon she's probably driving it 230, 240 at least.
Leroy 23 off 28. Sammy Joe Johnson 1.3 overs, no wicket for 11. Suddenly now they only need another 25 runs. We could have 2 quite short semi-final matches here the way it's shaping up. This time just blocks it down to the bowler.
Yes, I said getting back to that Pathways player coming through and sitting there and complain to the other umpire and all of that because I'm saying it squarely, just absolutely loving it with a big smile on my face and like, how can that? I couldn't be out. And the other umpire just said,
Yeah.
mate, your middle stump's sitting out of the ground. There's your sheds.
Yeah. You get what you get and you don't get upset.
Okay, I like that saying.
It's good.
Yep. Full toss. It was a big loopy one. No run.
One of the old knuckleballs out of the back of the hand there, hoping that Sammy J might have got Annika to sit there and just try and lift one up there or get through your shot early. But if she doesn't block that out, that is hitting your stumps.
Yeah. So Leroy 23 off 30, McCoggan 34 off 23, an unbroken opening wicket stand in this run chase. Again, nicely flicked off the pads for 1. 9 overs gone. Manly 66 without loss. The target of 90 that was set by Sydney Tigers.
Well, you look at it so far, the 2 games, the 2 winning teams at the moment have given up 1 wicket
Yeah.
between the 2 of them.
Yeah, true.
Which is a scary thought when you think about it.
It's like test match stuff.
But then again, when you're saying Annika Leroy, I think she got 102, 103 in one of the 2 WNCL games in Perth
Yeah.
early last week. So she's obviously coming in with a lot of form and also having that mental edge over this Sydney side from last weekend. I don't know whether you guys mentioned about Olivia Maxwell and what happened to her. That's kind of also in the back of the heads of the Sydney women's as well as Alam comes in to start her 3rd over.
Here goes Alam from Bangladesh originally. Punch down the ground. They come through for a single. These 2 are seeing it like a beach ball.
Yeah, so well, these 2 sides played in the T20 Sunday a week ago.
Yeah.
Out here on this same field where there was a fairly decent break in play, which Georgia, you guys were calling when you were out at Sydney Uni, when Olivia Maxwell was heavily concussed trying to take a catch. All of that. The umpires did give them the opportunity to abandon the game and take the result as it was, but
Here goes Alam again. This one just tucked off the hip square for another 1. No wicket for 68. They need another 22 runs here, Manly, to make that final, which will be at 5:30 against Campbelltown Camden.
yes, at the time, the 2 umpires are in the middle, went to the Sydney skipper and said, I'm giving you the option. If you want to continue playing, we'll continue playing. In other words, we're more than happy to call it match abandoned because they hadn't got, it was only the first innings.
Yeah.
But Alam's in to bowl her 3rd ball.
Yeah. So wide outside the off stump.
I know we always say hindsight is a beautiful thing to have, but
Sure, especially in sport.
But after that injury, it happened to Olivia Maxwell, and we know that she's not here today. So hopefully, Olivia, if you are watching it on the Frog Box or listening, that you are getting better from the concussion and also the flu that you currently have. But
Double whammy.
But it's kind of, but you're kind of sitting there and thinking, well, what's better? Taking care of your colleague as Alan comes in for another delivery.
Full toss. Whacked into the offside, straight to the fielder for no run.
You're almost stuck between a rock and a hard place with the skipper. Do you continue to play, or do you call it off, have a no result,
Well, let's look at it this way, because
then the player and be more concerned about the player?
Obviously, well-being is always important, because even as captain, you have a duty of care to your players.
Exactly.
Always.
Yeah, that's right. And this one again pushed into that vacant spot down the ground on the onside. Again, they just cruise through for one. The mirror image of these two matches is amazing. Similar first innings scores of around, well, they were both in the 80s, and the run chase is very similar, mowing it down. And this is looking like it might be in that sort of around 13 overs when they get the job done. But cricket's a funny game. They just need a few quick wickets. But at the moment, it's not looking likely as it's driven. Misfield, 1 run. No wicket for 70. 9.4 overs gone.
But yeah, with the duty of care, absolute key. You're always, your first priority is to yourself and then obviously to your players.
Yeah.
Anyone that was watching on Frogbox, as soon as it happened, all you see is all players from both sides run straight over to where Olivia Maxwell was to make sure she was okay.
But then even in saying that as well, the coaches and the managers have a duty of care too.
Yes.
The table wasn't going to be changed. Was it smart to
This is a
continue
great
playing?
shot here for 4. What a drive that is. A beautiful off drive. This is an exhibition of batting by the Manly Waratahs. And at the 10 over mark, Manly a no wicket for 75. Nick Kudnak will be slotting back in the seat very shortly.
Let him go down there for a little bit.
Yeah, let him stay. He's fine.
But
And
yeah,
that will be a bit of a quick drinks break, which is much needed.
but yeah. So, but
In
with
fact, well, we
Never
might
mind.
just continue as we are.
but with the duty of care we were talking about, it's absolutely essential. You need to be taking care of all of it. But the thing is, everyone got on board. One of the Manly staff is a trained paramedic.
So
So-
what happened with the injury then?
So
Sorry,
what? No,
sorry, I
okay.
don't
No,
know.
so what happened? So
Yeah.
from what's happened, from what I've been told by the Sydney club and Jen, who's doing the scoring and everything today, she went to take a catch,
Yeah.
almost got it, but as she's landed, she's heavily concussed.
So hands came in too far. Head went
Yeah,
over
and-
the top and
and head
slammed
So
on
her
the
head
ground.
hit the ground.
head's
hard.
gone smack, like kind of like when you see
When
like
you
the
eat
whiplash
the-
type of thing.
Yeah.
If you're in
Yeah.
rugby league,
Yeah.
from all reports, she was out of it for maybe a minute and a half until the players got to her. She did get up. Paramedics were called. One of the staff for Manly is a paramedic, so she took over the duty of care for it, which is a real good thing.
Yeah.
Which in men you probably wouldn't see, but the women's do.
What?
The women's take a lot better care of themselves and their
And their own.
opponents than what the men's clubs do.
Well, also there's a wide
What, in
variety.
cricket or
there's,
any sport?
There's a wide variety of jobs in the women's cricket anyway.
Yeah.
Myself as a teacher, I have first aid training as well, not to a paramedic's extent, but I am able
you still
to
have
assist.
first aid
I am
training.
able to assist in those situations.
So do I actually.
Great.
So yeah, the injury happened. Kira Churchland apparently they got her on her back, they cradled her neck and everything like to do like you would normally
Spinal
see
support,
the
yeah.
spinal support until the paramedic from Manly come across, which I know Sydney were very grateful to have someone there. Until the paramedic got there, Kira basically did not move for that 35-40 minutes until the paramedics turned up.
Because once you take that job, you're in charge.
Yeah.
The one controlling the neck and the head is ultimately in charge, because you have this person's spine and spinal cord in your hands.
Kira has,
Yeah, gotta be careful.
Kira does have that medical experience
Yeah.
as well, so she was happy to sit there and control that and let the person from Manly control the scene
Go
itself.
about, go about it.
And then once it all happened, they took it to the hospital. Everything apparently wasn't. There was no major structural damage, but on Wednesday night, Thursday, she started to get those delayed concussion symptoms where the headaches, the vomiting, all the stuff that you normally associate with it. So they've ruled her out of this, but then apparently also has got the flu or some bug in the last 24 hours, so she's not here today. So, but I will give credit to the Manly Club.
Credit due, credit given where it's due.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It definitely is there, and the fact that they were. The thing is that both umpires after Olivia was taken off in the ambulance, they went to the captain and said, "Do you want to continue the game? We're more than happy to call it off because of player safety."
Yeah,
and it would just be no result because.
But I think at some point
there was never going to be a change on the ladder.
I think at some point there does have to be a decision just made. We saw it with Philip Hughes.
Yeah.
When he had that accident.
Where that game was automatically called.
Where it was just called. I think that
Let's get back to the action now as the drinks break is done. McCoggan on strike. She's on 36 of 26. D'Amiglio comes into the attack for her first delivery with a bit of right arm spin. So they only need 15 more runs to win, and they've got 10 overs to get them. It's a mirror image from the first final and the second final. Very similar, the way the games have flowed. This is pushed into the onside for no run.
Yeah, but it's a duty care type of thing. Has to happen, but that's the type of thing where you almost need to say, ladies, we're done.
Yeah.
If it's a games,
know when to fold them.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just know when to concede and say no.
Oh, yeah.
For safety.
And then it's psychological damage as well to those around.
Yeah, for all players.
Through it.
And this is a beautiful shot again through the covers. Immaculate timing by McCoggan. She actually moves to 40 of 28 deliveries in the score. No wicket for 79 in the 11th over. Target of 90.
Can she get to 50? That's the question.
Yeah,
she's
going
to have to take every run.
Highest score of both the semi-finals so far. Is that right?
Yeah, it is of the day. Yeah. Oof. Full toss, swept, beats the first fielder. Covered up on the fence on that hillside of Drummoyne Oval. It's a nice breeze comes across the ground. And no wicket for 80.
We also do have an update with Lauren Cheadle with her injury. I was speaking to her during that first 5 overs. There is a small fracture in her bowling thumb, so she will not be playing in the final tonight. But she's hoping that she may only miss 1 or 2 weeks.
Good choice. So it sounds like it's only a bit of a hairline fracture or a bit of a crack in the bone.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a chance of a run out at the non-strikers, not out.
And then maybe
plays this one late into that cover area for 1.
She may also be able to. She may also come up later on for a bit of a chat whilst we have that break in between this game and the final.
So Manly have done this easy. McCoggan, 41 of 29. Yeah. Leroy 31 of 36. McCoggan striking at 141, very impressive. And again, a nice handsome drive down the ground. No run. And that's 11 overs gone. Manly, no wicket for 81. 9 runs to go. 9 overs to get them.
Neither of you asked me what my pet peeve was.
Are they going to try and do 1 run and over and get it down to the wire?
I hope so.
No,
I don't think so.
That'd be good.
But you think about it now.
Imagine that.
That'd be so
well, you think about it now.
Just getting one
block it out.
Yeah. But you look at it now. But now, time-wise, if you're Manly, you're now starting to think, how much time preparation do we need between this game?
I just got like 6 songs to go through my head.
Because you're looking at 5 minutes to 4.
Yep.
Sydney, like Australian daylight savings time. The final schedule to start at 5:30, so you've got just over 90 minutes.
Yeah.
You'll be sitting there saying now that you've got it to 81 without loss. Get it over, this over, or the next over, and try and give yourself 90 minutes. So at least that way you can have an hour where you can just literally, if you can jump in the shower, have a have a cool shower.
There's
Just try
only
and cool
one shower
down.
in there, so you're going to be fighting over it if that's the case.
Here goes Alum on strike. Oh, what
Nice
a cracking drive. Good fielding, though.
Right idea.
These two are timing it beautifully, though. Some of the shots.
I'll tell you what, we're not going to, we're not going to wonder, that's for sure.
What a final we've got coming up.
Oh.
Campbelltown Camden very likely to be taking on Manly.
Cracker like a Sydney Big Bash.
Yeah, it's going to be good. Both these teams can bat and bowl. They're in hot form today, both sides. Here goes Alum again. Swing and a
Boy.
miss. Alum's figures have actually been quite good. 3.2 overs, no wicket for
Economical.
15
Yep.
amongst this carnage of runs.
I really want them to get at least one wicket. But then,
I don't really think it's going to be any favourites really when you're coming into it, where you can sit there and say, yeah, okay, Manly have done it more comfortably with all of that, but
then it's going to be a completely different setting.
Yeah,
for the
similar
final.
sort of
yeah.
drives it down the ground straight to the bowler, hailing from Bangladesh. Alum.
Because you have to remember at 5:30, the sun's starting to set. It's not going to really affect.
Doesn't the sunset
It'll
like
cool
8
down a bit
o'clock?
for the night match.
No,
for
but
the
like when
final.
you're talking,
Oh,
like,
it starts. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay, gotcha.
you start getting further in the west, so
Yep.
which means the temperature's going to start to drop. So by the
Yay.
time 5:36, instead of being the 30s, you might be into the low 20s. So
Yeah.
Oh,
Driven. Beautiful
Oh.
shot for 4.
Wow.
That's going to look beautiful on Frog Box. The on drive beats the fielder. And another glorious shot here by Leroy this time. She moves through to 35 off 40.
amazing shot.
McCoggan 41 off 30. Manly. No wicket for 85. 5 runs to go to win.
can Leroy bring it up at a 6 and have it perfectly the same, 41 each?
Please. That would just be photo finish right there.
And you are hitting with the wind down
Nick
towards
Kutnak
us.
will be getting us some on-field interviews straight after this match, which is going to be finished pretty soon.
Yeah, he's still sitting down.
Both these games have been short and sharp run chases. And another beautiful drive through the covers. Is that going to roll all the way? Let's have a look now.
No, it won't.
Just short. They'll pick up 2.
I'll tell you what, quick game's a good game, but
Oh,
I
quick
never
game's
thought
a
I'd
good
see
game.
this in cricket.
Well, you know what it means, George. It means we get to have an hour and a half of you chatting.
Yeah, true.
And
Or
we
me
can't
just,
wait
you
to
know,
listen to that.
It's going to be an early tea for me. Look out.
Or it's us going to be debating who we're going to get on interviews.
So 3 runs to go.
Well, Shane's not doing the interviews. And on behalf of everybody, thank you very much. Shane's giving me some birds. I don't know why.
Here goes Alum again. Driven. Just over the fielder. You'd think they'll come back for 2. No, they're not going to. So 12 overs gone. Manly, no wicket for 88. 2 runs to win with 8 overs left. Going to be one heck of a final
Is
in
it
an
2
hour and a
runs?
half's time. 1 run.
1 run.
And 5:30, tune in everyone. Reset that Frog Box to the different match at 5:30 or Triple H. Tune in, we've got it covered all day. It will be Campbelltown Camden against Manly, who have both won their semi-finals easily by bowling really well, controlling the other team to a score in the 80s and then winning with style. The final is going to be very good. Let's hope we have a close one to finish out the day.
I think this is the first time a T20 final where Sydney Tigers haven't featured in a few years.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nearly a wicket there dropped.
I think it'd be the first one in about 5 seasons.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, the one day is different, but T20s, they're always there.
It's
For
a
the they're always there for the grand final.
It's almost a given
Yeah.
every year.
T20 grand final? Yep, Sydney Tigers.
This is a good delivery. Churchland, the captain, comes back on. Leroy, 38 off 44. And that was there to hit, but she didn't nail it. It doesn't really matter because there's so much time
I
left.
mean, there's what? 2 runs to get? Not even.
Straight to the fielder again at mid-on. Can we have a surprising maiden?
Oh gosh, no, I can't deal with that.
Heading into this over, 2 runs to go with 8 overs left.
I can't deal with maidens now.
This one she puts away, and that'll be it. Manly are through
Same score.
to the grand final. No wicket for 92. They have beaten the Sydney Tigers by 10 wickets with 7.1 overs to go. So these 2 semi-finals we've had have been almost identical with the margin of victory, and it's going to be a great final coming up in an hour and a half. Over to you, Matt Mears, to have a wrap of the scorecard, and we'll be crossing to Nick Kutnak for a couple of interviews down on the ground with the Victoria side.
Yeah, we thank the team there. Great call as always. The Manly Warringah batting, not much to say here, as Annika Leroy not out 42 off 47, 4 fours and a 6, and then Ellen McLaughlin not out 41 off 30. She played some great shots over the leg side. 5 fours and a 6, and that strike rate ended up being 136. So no wickets down for 92. Did Manly end up off 12.9. 9 extras in that, 8 wides and a leg by. The bowling for Sydney, Sammy Joe, 2 overs, none for 12. Nell Bryson Smith, expensive for her usual. What we expect from her, 14 off the 1 over. Alarm coming on, 4 overs, none for 22. Eva Ragg, 2 overs, 1 maiden, none for 16. Emily Powell, 9 off her 1 over. Churchland finishes 1.5 overs, none for 12. And Demeglio bowled the 1 over for 6. So, as you said there, Kiwi make a big final coming up at 5:30. Campbelltown Camden taking on Manly. We'll be bringing you that coverage here on via Sydney Sports Radio. Triple H 100.1 FM will be live into the evening, as well as on Frog Box, as well as we have a look around for Nick Kutnak. I think he's got somebody with him now. We'll cross over to him.
Well, Ella's going, look, can we just move away from everybody else? Because I'm a bit nervous doing interviews. Look, trust me, I'll go easy on you. Congratulations on a win. Great performance.
Thanks, yeah, really happy to get through to the final. Hopefully we go again later.
Yeah, it's an interesting situation. I suppose some people would say you draw the straws or having the short turnaround. Is that a help and hindrance? Because some people would say it's actually good because it means that you're already warm, ready to go, while the other teams had to wait a couple of hours before the next game.
You know what, I think it's actually going to help us because we can take the momentum into the next game. We haven't had to sit around for 3 hours. So yeah, hopefully it will go in our favour.
It's seeming like it's a toss to win and that you'd want to bowl first?
Look, either way, we'll do our best, and I think it doesn't really matter. I think we're going to put out a good performance, hopefully, and it'll be good either way.
Anything from this game that you're thinking, oh, we need to be a little bit better, both on the field and with the bat?
I think at this ground, because the grass it doesn't really run, the grass is quite long, so just running hard and really the two when we're in the field, I think that's key.
Yeah, it's been a bit like that, this venue. For some reason, it's not really been a great batting venue today, has it, in regards to it's not running?
No, not really, but it's a great batting track. It's coming on really nicely, so yeah, it's good to bat out there.
Well, congratulations. Quickly go inside, get away from the heat, and we'll see you later on.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nick. Thanks, Ella. Yes, Nick.
This is the thing about this ground. I think Shane was mentioning it before. It's plugged, doesn't it? It's basically plugging, and you're not going to be getting a lot of clean fours, are you, today?
Well, I think we saw when batters were coming down the wicket, going over the top.
Actually, I'm just having a look now. Now, I'm not going to lay down because...
Well, if you move about a couple of few extra...
out too, mate.
Move a couple of extra overs, our friends will see on Frogbox. I know they won't because the screen's up.
This part of the ground is where I want to talk about, because to me it looks like somebody's already done a belly flop and there's an indentation.
That's normal for that side of the field.
Yeah, no, like I was having a look and going, it's not level. It's not level.
It's probably Australia Day.
Kiwi Nick has been out to a couple of Bacardi cruises.
Turn it up.
But yeah, it's not. I like this ground. It's a really nice venue, isn't it, for cricket?
Yeah, and I think it's great. As I said, like we obviously have North Sydney Oval as well, which we've seen had a lot of traffic between Kingsgrove finals, women's Big Bash tests. With obviously the Australia playing England there too, but then to have this I wouldn't call it a backup because that's not fair, but to have this available as well is just, yeah, as I said, we're very lucky with the venues that we have around Sydney town.
Is this one of the best women's grounds? Like in regards to for teams, is this one of the best?
This or North Sydney Oval, I'd reckon.
Yeah.
I'd say they are absolutely top tier, one of them up there.
North Sydney is a great venue, especially
Always.
if you're playing it on Cricket 22. It's really nice. Cricket 22, the graphics are awesome. And I'll put it this way to you, and Matt Mears knows this all too well.
Oh, here we go.
I've played Cricket 22 recently. I've also played Shane Warne 99. Graphics just a little bit different, just by an inch, I reckon.
20 odd
That's
years
fine, mate,
between.
but we're up to Cricket 24 at this point, so you
I
might want to
haven't
get
got that.
to the time.
I haven't bought that yet because
I
I'm waiting for it on cheap.
I got it for free.
Don Bradman Cricket, I haven't played that. Is that good or not?
I think that's a discussion that we can have in that hour as we wait for for the
Well, I'm
next
asking
game.
you now, so why don't you tell me?
I don't think the others are interested.
Cricket 07?
Well, I
Is
want to
Cricket
play
07
some
the best
SNES.
game?
No.
I want to play some Super Nintendo cricket, but you can't play that anymore.
Yes, you can.
Well,
okay.
we'll have
I'm
a
gonna
chat
let
about
you
that.
two
Well,
have that
it
debate.
wasn't on my nephew's Switch.
It's on the emulators now. You can
Oh,
get an
okay.
emulator.
Wasn't
Like
on
Home
my nephew's
Improvement too.
Switch.
Have you played the Home Improvement one yet?
No.
It's bad game. Bad game.
Well, as I said, I only take on my nephew and have him beat me at Mario Kart, but it's all right, I got him back. But yeah, enough about our video game habits. We can report that it will be Campbelltown Camden taking on Manly Warringah in the final. $20,000 up for grabs thanks to our good friends at Kingsgrove Sports Centre. We'll try and we've got our round the grounds people. I'm sure Harry will be here at some point. We'll try and get Nick or Shane or someone to have a chat with him.
Shane can do it.
With him in that during that finals game. But yeah, we will be back here about 5:20, whether you're listening through Frogbox via the Cricket New South Wales YouTube channel or here on Triple H 100.1 FM. So thank you very much for tuning into these two games so far. If you have missed it, Campbelltown Camden doing it easy over St George Sutherland. They were bowled out at 482 and the Ghosts chasing that down. 1 wicket down in the 14th over, and then Manly, they almost like, whatever you can do, we can do better. They kept Sydney to 6 for 89 off their 20 overs, and Manly doing it with one ball left in the 13th over to set up what's going to be a huge final here. Twilight cricket, grand final here at Drummoyne Oval. The lights will be on, and we're really looking forward to your coverage from that in about an hour and 15 minutes time here. So yeah, get relaxed. Make sure you join us for what's going to be an epic grand final a bit later. That's Campbelltown Camden. That's Manly Warringah. We'll catch you back here at Drummoyne Oval shortly for the big one.